Last we left our heroes, you were preparing for a rescue mission into the far north, having learned of an unholy alliance between Blackwatch and the Pale Court of the Feywild, that this partnership has led to the capture of Ursa Deverell. Your two factions, the Watchers and the Infinite Alliance, have also joined forces. Together, you five, along with Ursa's guardian Cal, will make your way to the Starless Citadel, where it seems she's being held and the enemy is plotting some dark machinations. Time being of the essence, you investigated several plans to expedite your journey, but none were as tempting as crossing into the Feywild and coming through the Citadel from the Fey side with its liminal boundary. Hopefully catching your enemy unaware, and provided you can bargain for it, use the Fey's time warping to your advantage. Armed with as much information and tools as your patrons could provide, you are set to depart the city of Karden for Loch Lilypad, between the Drackrock and Bloodrun Bay, where an amphibious crossing awaits. And we begin tonight. Where we left off time-wise, it was late the night before, and you had met with the Watchers and had gone through with the intent of this kind of morning going to meet and silver your weapons and ammunition, which is a process of a couple of hours. So by the time you'd be kind of ready to set off, it'd be about midday. But in that span of time, are there any conversations or any other final preparations beyond the silvering elements that we've kind of addressed already that you wanted to get to before heading off into the wilderness once more?
We talked a little bit about wanting to chat with the people who'd come from potentially the Fae. I know they said they didn't remember anything, but just to try to get anything else. We never got to have a proper conversation with them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, they're all available to you guys in Ludomir's kind of estate. They're not leaving for Marabella until the end of this week. So they're just kind of hanging out here. Ludomir and Sentinel are planning to actually would have left by this morning and would have had a moment to like say their goodbyes to you all. But you can have these conversations kind of in and around wherever you want. So is there anyone you were looking to? They're all kind of in the estate. They're all keeping together. Like for the most part, now that they are more or less kind of going to be traveling and living together. And having gone through this experience all together, for the most part, they're all just kind of hanging out, staying close to one another. Every time someone wants to go to somewhere else, they all just kind of collectively go together. The only difference is being Millicent has the elven, the pale elf, has accepted the offer of joining the Infinite Alliance. And she's gone off to do some training here and there and be kind of doing some of this other kind of adventuring gears stuff. So she's been off a little bit more than the others, but makes a point to come back and check in pretty consistently. And Dio has slipped off out of sight and didn't really say his goodbyes.
Yes,
Classic Dio.
Classic Dio.
Oh, no,
I would like to
rogue?
talk to Margot, the other Heron Gun.
Sure. You can, as you guys, come to find them, we'll call it at breakfast, the morning of you're about to leave. Margot has certainly been the quietest of the bunch, keeping to herself ever so slightly further away from the rest, but never too far from reach from the rest of them. And more often than not, you catch her kind of staring off into nothingness before kind of snapping back and just following the group. Unsurprising reaction to her current state, but you find her kind of in one of these states in the morning.
I think I would kind of trot up to her, maybe set down a little like tea that I'd had and kind of wander over to her. Sorry to disturb you.
That's all right.
You're gonna go to Marabella with the rest of them, right?
Yeah, not much left for me here, I suppose.
I was so sorry to hear about your partner. It's just awful.
Thank you. It was all I really had. We never had children or anything, which I suppose is a blessing at this point.
My sister's kind of all I have. Well, actually, that's not true. Like, I have two moms that you're going to see, but, you know, my sister's really the only other Harengon I really know. She's like my other half.
There aren't many that I've seen around. It was really just the two of us.
Well, I just wanted to say my parents will be so, and I was going to say happy. I think they will be happy, but they'll be very welcoming to see you, and especially if you give them my hat, which I think you can keep now.
Sure.
They'll just take care of you and anything you need. It's Bessie and Bakey, and tell them that Nettie and I say hi and we miss them and we're safe. We're going to send a letter along with you guys, but I just want you to know you'll be in good hands with them.
I really appreciate that. It'll be nice to be with some other Harengons. That'll be...
Oh, no, actually, they're not Harengons. They're not Harengons. They're like humans, you know.
I thought you said they were your mother.
They're moms. Yep, there are two moms. They adopted Nettie and I. We were, you know, like found in a forest. Yeah, not with a memory, kind of classic thing.
Oh, I guess I'm not sorry. You seem to have lived a pretty wonderful life with them.
The best life. Little boring, but really good.
Well, if anything from the last few days has shown me boring, would be nice.
I'll kind of scooch up next to her and sit down and look around a little bit and then say, Margot, have you ever been to the Feywild?
No. I was born here.
Huh. Do you know anything about it from other Harengons? Nettie and I, we're headed there next, and we're a little nervous that the start of our story began there, and now we're coming back to it.
All I ever heard about the Fae when I was in the orphanage here was, well, they said it was a lot of awful things about it, and I never really believed it. I found some old books one time. You know, we were writers. We read a lot. And there were stories of the Fae, and it seemed beautiful and wonderful, magical. I always kind of dreamt of running off there one day.
Well, maybe it'll be like that when we go there.
I hope so.
Not the bad.
I hope so.
What was your husband's name?
I'm trying to look it up.
I didn't want to throw it at you, but he wants to know.
I've been trying to find it in my notes over here for the last 5 minutes, and I can't find my fucking...
You know I'm coming for it.
Is it Gerard?
I couldn't remember if I named him Gerard or not, if that was the stupid staff from last campaign.
No, I have Gerard written beside Margot.
Okay.
What's his birthday? Describe to him in vivid detail.
Okay, I can go down that road. That's no problem. I just need his fucking name, and I'm trying to find where my goddamn notes are.
Yeah, Gerard. I have Gerard as the husband too.
All right,
My notes.
Transport ambush, prisoners from Terminus. Margot, there you are.
He would just kind of brush himself off and then ask that question before he goes.
His name was Gerard.
Gerard. We'll always remember Gerard. His name won't be forgotten.
Thank you. And thank you and Enid and the rest for everything you've done for us.
It's the least we could do. Okay, well, I think you guys might be leaving soon. I'm just going to go check on the others.
I look forward to meeting your moms.
They'll really like you. They like mischief. That's why they like my sister and I.
I'll see what I can do.
He kind of smiles as he walks away, but I think his face kind of falls as he like reaches the door and looks back at her and how sad she is. And he feels a deep, deep guilt that the reason her husband has died is because of him and them getting caught that one night. So he just kind of like look back over his shoulder and then try and put on a happy face and try and go find the rest of the group.
It's difficult to kind of contextualize the consequences of your good intentions, but easier when faced with the consequences face to face like that. Nevertheless, more adventures and more consequences to come. Andy, were you looking to speak with anyone else specifically?
Yeah, if I can, like, Griff is still around, right? The satyr?
Mhm.
And I don't know if they're all grouped up. I could chat with them generally, but I'm basically, she's just curious to hear. We got a rushed version of what their story was and what they remembered, but trying to get and poke and prod as much far back as they can recall.
Sure. As you kind of sit down with Griff and the three Mary Courts, they're all kind of sitting together on the opposite side of the table, just down the long table from Margot, where Augustus was chatting over there. Collectively, they struggle to kind of pull any kind of specifics together of memory, but I'm going to roll for it, as it is something they can attempt to try and delve into their minds. So I'll see what Griff can pull for you.
Come on, Griff.
It's middling at best. As he's kind of sitting there, you're face to face with like war wounds. This man Satyr has seen a significant recent like amputation and very obvious like poorly healing wounds that have now been treated since being here, but the scars are deep and are going to linger. They're not things that will easily be taken care of, and obviously having lost eye, ear, a leg, he's kind of grappling still with that, but he kind of gets across. It's been difficult to try to recall anything about the last, anything beyond the last few weeks. It was, we knew we were coming from a fight when we came through. We were still kind of gestures to his body. I can still feel the echoes of pain and the fighting in my dreams. I do see these images of a war, of a battle, and I remember the wilds, and the wilds rising up and he just kind of loses it. Just sand through his fingers, trying to grasp hold of any of it. It's more emotion than anything. I remember the fury, and fury not being something that I found easily. Even now, I don't feel angry despite all of what has happened. It is not in my nature. And yet I recall anger, deep, primal fury at what was happening. But I suppose to be at war would evoke such things.
You remember what it was you were fighting for? What it was that was triggering that anger?
The best that we can all understand is our homes as a feeling of loss, feeling being taken, and obviously We've been displaced. But it is more than that. Not just a house, a domicile, whatever. A part of who we were was taken. I'm sorry. I wish I had more.
Please don't apologize. I'm sorry you've been through everything you have. I wish that there was something. Although I'm not sure if it'd be worth it to try to push to remember, if that'd be even more painful. But I agree that a lot of who you are comes from not necessarily where you're from, but who you were with, the people who grew up around you. Like, home isn't a place, it's a people. And it seems like you've lost a great number of them, and even more so if the memories are a loss on their own.
In truth, it's a saving grace and further pain to say, I don't know who it is I've lost. I don't know if I had children, if I had a wife. I don't remember, but I feel the loss of something.
Well, I guess at this point we can move forward.
I have found my family here.
Can I try to find something? So sorry, when you said he had like war wounds, can you clarify that those were like pre or post Elsa?
Well, he never made it to Elsa.
Oh no, he didn't. You're right. I'm sorry. He was just delivered, and they had been like on the way to healing, but just from time, not from
a recap of their journey. So Margot and Dio had come from Terminus, which was in Karden. They were prisoners of the normal Arcana class prisoners, but the Mary Quartz, Griff, and Melisande were
they were on their way.
Refugees of the Fae, who had basically, the way they've recounted it was they crossed through somewhere dark you presume to be the Underdark, the underworld, as you have seen this happen before. And then we're like brought over a week's, like multiple weeks journey, underland travel, changing hands with Pale Court over to what clearly has been Blackwatch, and then have come here. So the wounds were sustained prior and have healed poorly as a result of being a prisoner of war. And not being properly cared for. But
he doesn't remember taking on the wounds.
No, it's like, that's what he's talking about, like the ghost of something he knows he felt, but doesn't remember how it happened. Yeah. And there's trauma to the last few weeks of this, but that has started to kind of move past. Now it's what happened before, and I can't even pull anything through.
So they never made a stop in Terminus, right? There was some kind of interaction at some point there. Okay, so Terminus isn't our only source of those things. They had to meet up some point. Okay.
Yeah.
That's good to know as well. I'll try to look around wherever we are. If I can find something that resembles like a staff or like something that's like, essentially, I want to like toss something to him and see if I want to see if he was like a fighter, like if he has reflexes, if there's anything in his body that remembers any of it.
Yeah. See? You toss to him kind of a cane
or something.
Yeah. Quickly catches it, and kind of spins it in his hand. Master Nostrov has graciously given me one already, but thank you.
It looks like there's, even if your mind doesn't remember who you were, your body does.
He looks down at it. He looks down at it, and like baton twirl, spins it, throws it, catches it, and like easily with practiced capability, like twirls and spins. And you see, like, as he spins it out to what would be the hilt of a sword, and he kind of holds it out like a rapier, like a fencer's stance, but sitting, obviously. And kind of just taps it on the table and then sets it down. It's true, but those days are now behind me, I think.
That's up to you. That's your choice. That's the one saving grace here is your future's yours now. Let's hope to keep it that way, but we'll do our best there.
Yes.
Thank you for your time. I'm sorry for bringing anything up.
No, of course. You have done more for us than, well, anyone else we have known. We owe you our lives. I wish there was more we could do.
Let's just move forward. I'm always glad to gain new friends. Awkwardly stand up. Augustus comes in the room. Is there anything else you guys wanted to chat about before we get going?
You talking to me now?
Everyone, whoever else is in the room.
Did you try and javelin that poor man earlier?
He's capable. I wanted to see if if he had any reflex memory in there.
Let's go find the others, and then we can see if we're ready to hit the road.
Okay.
I think Enid was going to try and spring some sort of prank onto Crane while he was shadow boxing in the pit.
Oh, that's a bad idea. Well, it could be funny. Maybe everyone needs something to lift their spirits at this point.
Does this estate have like a pond or like a little private, a hot tub or a sauna?
There's definitely like a fountain. If you're looking for some water to like go back to, there's less of a jacuzzi, but there's water. Yeah, definitely. There's like a kind of a longer kind of it's like an infinity pool style kind of pool.
Okay, is there vegetation and such, or is it completely like manufactured stonework?
There's plants around, yeah, for sure.
I feel like Mogden has gotten up early before the sun and has just gone out to sit by the water, and he's just kind of there contemplative. I think he was out looking for frogs, but now he's just kind of sitting there by the water, almost meditating very quietly.
I can come there with Andy as we move to collect Enid and the Crane, but kind of disturb you as we come along.
Before they disturb you, was there anything that you were trying to think on specifically in this meditation, in this like contemplation?
I think he's nervous about what's going to happen next because it's beyond his understanding. But I think what's really troubling him is the reason that we're going, and to try and save this young girl. And it's noticeably affected him. It's brought things up, and he's trying to, I guess, still his mind, knowing that the task to come will require his focus, and he needs to kind of stow those feelings that are coming to the surface. He has to be the strong warrior bear that his new friends will need him to be.
That's not why we like you.
Like when he's falling on his face and
or on fire.
On fire.
Andy and Augustus, you guys find Mogden in this kind of reflective state out in the yard.
His hair is coming in again. He looks good.
Oh, good morning. Good morning, friends.
Oh, hey, Maggie. What were you doing?
Oh, I did not see you there. I was looking for frogs to try to speak to, but my mind has been troubled since last night, and I just look to calm myself before task at hand.
That's
Can
a
you
smart
talk to
idea.
frogs? Did
I
miss
can
something?
talk to many things. I can speak to the creatures of this place, but I have yet to speak to Frog, but I know that this might be in our future, so...
Hey, yeah, you're gonna get another chance. Hopefully very soon.
So they say. Yes.
I'll paddle up, not paddle. I'll walk up next to you and put my little paws on the edge of this fountain, look over at it, look down at my little face rippling in there. Are you worried because we're going closer to your home, or because we're going somewhere you haven't been before?
The Fae is beyond my understanding, but right now I find I am somewhat haunted by ghosts of past. He kind of pauses and he looks over. He says, Who was this girl to you? Did you know her well? Was she friend or family?
She, I think, was starting to become close to family. What would you think, Andy?
It wasn't a huge amount of time. It's a lot to do with how we all met, actually. We were sent there by, turns out, Ludomir, but we didn't know that at the time, to go check out a town that had been having some weird goings on, and it turns out she was at the center of it, and the townsfolk quickly decided she should be dispatched. So Cal kind of played along until he could get her out, and we helped with that. We got her out and somewhere we thought was safe. I guess we were wrong.
Do you carry burden in your heart for the failure to save her?
I think we made a correct decision with the information we had at the time.
Well, now I feel like I should have a burden in my heart after you said it like that, though.
He kind of laughs. No, this is unfair of me to trouble you. Different situation, but there was once a time in my life where I failed to protect someone very special to me, and now I suppose Mogden worries that if he does not help this young girl, that those demons will forever haunt him. And there is much riding on success here, I suppose, for state of my heart, perhaps. But I need to stow these emotions before we head into this new land. I do not want my past to harm you in this task that we must partake in now, but I suppose I have just come to try and free myself of these feelings for a little while.
Well, don't feel like it's all on you, you know? We were kind of sharing this, not burden, but this responsibility to get Ursa back, and I can't speak to what you've gone through before, but it's not all on you. The past isn't going to repeat.
I hope you're right, my friend. I suppose that I am putting much pressure on myself, but I do not think I could live with myself if I were to fail again in this task. It is something that has haunted me for many years, and though this Watchers have given me purpose, it is a ghost that I continue to run from, and from time to time it finds me in the dark and quiet places, but I believe that you are right. We will be successful, and your friend will be okay. We are going to be fine.
I've got something that'll cheer you up, and it's what my sister is probably about to do to Crane. It's some sort of elaborate prank she wouldn't fully tell me about, but I'm excited to see it.
His demeanor changes a little bit, and he's like, "This Crane amuses me, and I wish to see what your sister have planned. He is a funny man, and I wish to enjoy these shenanigans, to use favorite word again.
Okay, I heard the crane was going to be in the kitchen. After he gets a workout on, he usually goes to the kitchen. So we should just be stealthy as we go to the kitchen to see what she's got cooking.
Yes, stealth is something that Mogden does well, but he is also hungry, so kitchen is place to be, perhaps. Let us go to this.
Okay,
As the three of you make your way towards the kitchen, I have to ask, what does Enid have cooked up in there to spring upon Decrane?
Okay, so it's a whoopee cushion.
Amazing. Perfect.
So, yeah, she's basically gonna like try and get him to sit somewhere, and then
Oh, there we go.
Hey, sometimes the simple ones are.
yeah, exactly, because it'll be her trying to convince him to sit down.
Yeah. So
He never does, actually, notoriously. He never takes a seat anytime we're anywhere.
Right? Part of why she was intrigued.
good challenge.
So this is what we're going to do. So, Enid, as you have prepared your whoopee cushion ready to roll, you see Decrane coming in after his morning workout, coming towards the kitchen for breakfast. You have set up in the kitchen kind of a breakfast nook area to entice, to bring him towards where some food and stuff is, knowing he's not going to eat with the rest of the people. Sometimes he wants to be on his own. So there is a setup ready to go, and you have, I'm going to say you have the cushion in hand to try and slip, and we'll go for sleight of hand, provided you've managed to pull off getting Decrane to convincingly sit down. So Decrane enters in the room. Take it away.
Oh, hey, Decrane. Fancy seeing you here.
How are you doing?
I'm good, but are you okay?
Oh, it's okay.
You look so tired. Why don't you have a seat?
Sitting is for the weak.
Oh, nonsense. It's good for you to just take some time to relax for yourself. Right here. Sit right here.
So I'm just going to quickly slip behind Enid, and then I'll be like, you see what happens when you sit. And I'll pretend like I have a knife kind of thing. You never know what comes from behind. But when you stand, you can turn.
What? Oh, I guess so.
Enid, go ahead and make. Actually, no, sorry. Decrane, go ahead and make an insight check. Enid, make a deception check.
Deception? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Come on.
12.
20.
Oh,
Like a nat 20?
No.
It's good.
12 and did you say insight check?
Insight, yeah.
So 3, 17.
Okay.
Or 15. 15.
The deception has it. So, you see, Enid is seemingly concerned for your health, wants you to take a rest, despite your portrayal of self-defense and why you should never sit. Apparently, she does seem to be a little concerned and a little stunned, and perhaps your insight into that is she's just literally looking out for you. There's nothing untoward here.
Okay, so I'll say, how about this? And I'll pick Enid up, put her on my shoulder, and then I'm going to hang on the ceiling with one hand because I can do that, right? So
Yeah.
how do you feel about this?
Wait, no, I mean in the chair. You sit in the chair.
Can I enter into this? Can I enter into this room with them?
I think at this point, yeah, Augustus, Andy, and Marvin, you guys come in from the outside through the side door, and you look up about 10 to 12 feet in the air. Decrane is hanging from the ceiling with Enid on his shoulder, and they're just arguing, kind of.
I lean over to Augie, is this?
I think so. And then I would like to go sit in the chair that she had pre-planned.
She has not set the whoopee cushion yet.
Yeah, I wanted to trigger it so bad.
Mogden looks up and he goes, "The crane, you hit legs today, yes? Your glutes were very, very tight. Your legs must be so sore. How you not resting, my friend? You need to rest before long walk. Your tight glutes need to be rested before big journey."
It's through meditation, and I do that almost every minute. You don't see it.
I'm always meditating.
But even at some point, you need a break from the meditation.
I see that my manners are lacking at the moment, so I will sit.
As the group all comes together to sit, Enid, go ahead and make a sleight of hand check.
Does Enid get a little too excited?
Yeah, she's like super excited.
And Decrane, what's your passive?
Oh my
perception?
god!
My passive?
11.
Yeah. What's
16.
your passive? Okay.
It's not great.
No.
It's like a toddler who's trying to play a prank on a grown man.
This is how I wanted it to go, though.
DC, you have the choice here. You see Enid planting this device. Very obvious kind of.
Does Decrane know what a whoopee cushion is?
Yeah, but
I don't think anyone here would know what a whoopee cushion is except Enid.
Probably
So-
Augustus as the recipient of the whoopee cushion.
I have an idea. So I'll be like,
You have the upper hand here. You can
Okay.
play it how you want.
I see you have set a cushion for me. I appreciate your courtesy, and then I sit on it.
Aww.
Acknowledges it, and then a big just explosive echoes through the hall.
Enid
I
just
just-
like. Oh, go ahead.
No, you go first.
No, I was gonna say Enid just like super mature, just lets out this like.
I think Andy is fucking dying laughing.
Mogden doing like a deep like belly like chortle like oh.
August is
I
horrified.
just smirk. I'll smirk a little and be like, "That was very amusing. Enjoy these fun moments because soon we will be dealing with death."
It really takes the air out of the situation.
Oh, I love that.
Her face
That's-
just kind of drops.
That's so different.
So stoic.
Told you it'd be good, right? She's pretty quick.
It was pretty funny.
We could use that kind of trickery in the Feywild.
That's true.
Can
We
we bring
could.
that to the Feywild? You know what? From what I've read, Fey people actually do legitimately appreciate, for the most part, a good prank. As long as you do with it within like a certain amount of rank and file, they actually do like tricks.
Really?
Got anything else?
Not at the moment. I
Oh,
just
like
saw
ideas.
this like
just like think about like everything you used to do to Augie when you guys were like 12.
okay.
There's the sap thing you would do when I'm sleeping.
Yeah, stick your hand in the sap.
Feathers.
Get it on your face. You wake up. Okay, I can work with that.
Mogden reaches over and like grabs his nose, but it's just a claw poking out through his little his little paw. Like,
Oh my
go
God,
to
please.
your
Whoa.
nose.
How'd you do that?
Put it back.
It's like very noticeably a bear claw.
And like way too big to be
Yeah.
either of their noses.
Please give that back, Mr. Mogden.
He puts it back.
Oh.
Thank you.
Thank
You are all very good sports for the various pranks that are about to occur. But with pranks aside, and your conversations with the refugees kind of finished, your patrons have at this point kind of departed unless you wanted to have any final words. They would have just bid their farewells and good lucks to you, hoping to see you return before they even make it to Sarid and just give them the travel time. But we'll see. Any last things before you set off for yourselves?
I'm gonna give. So I got 3. I'm gonna give 20 gold to Margot to give to our parents, and maybe just have a letter that Nettie and I kind of wrote to our parents, like, "Hey, sorry, we're dropping these people off. Here's some money. Hope everything's okay."
I'll also say that Ludomir is not sending them off without anything. He's sending them off with the intent to like get them set up in Marabella and has like a place that they can live. But always good to have some local, family and friends, especially to keep this connection. So having them kind of make a stop there, but obviously within reach of Marabella, will give them at least a point of connection.
Kyle, we never did this, so to be honest, we never rolled the Guardian Stone, which we ended up having to attack. If I roll a 1 here, it's broken forever.
Okay, great.
Want to do it?
Yeah.
What's it? Remind me what the Guardian Stone is, or is this before Mogden's time?
So the Guardian Stone was the stone, this guy.
Remember the golem thing you fought? We kind of summoned it from a statue, and then it turned on.
Oh, yeah, I had to kill him.
On your way out, he turned back into a stone, or at least it conjured out of the stone and reverted. Anyways, was it a 1 or no?
Oh, thank God. I was like, I'm really summoning the darkness here. It was a 16.
Then I believe it's just
totally
the wall.
Yeah. Every
I picture one of those little like rubber things that you'd put in water as a kid, and it would get just. Yeah.
Now it's back.
Is there any other kind of last minute, like you guys have rested for several days now, so you're fully restocked on all of your kind of your hit points, your spells, any recharges on things would have been full.
I'm gonna ask Andy. We're about to go into a very magical world, and I'm not condoning this, but have you stockpiled enough weapons, spells, whatever we need to survive? Because as much as I don't like it, we're gonna need something there.
She is trying so hard to hide on her face the like little bit of smugness or like little bit of like well. I mean, yeah, I've learned some new things. I don't have magic weapons because they're very illegal here, but hey, we're going to a place where they're not illegal, so maybe we can pick something up.
How about I could snoop around and see if we could find a trader who deals with them here.
I would prefer to do that on the other side, to be frank. Only because he, like, we could have gone to that one like super sketchy guy. However, we don't have that much money. I don't, honestly, never had this much gold in my life. We don't really deal in gold in the Shepherds that much. It's mostly like trading stuff of favors and all those things. But from what I understand, super illegal stuff is probably very expensive here. If it's more common over there, maybe we can get it on the cheap.
Well, there is this one option.
Okay.
Because it's illegal, and I know you feel very strongly about illegal activities and people.
I don't really care about what's legal and what's not.
I could kill him or her and take whatever they have to offer.
I care about that only because
That's a justice move.
I feel like we would get, this person doesn't seem, maybe they are, but bad person, but I think they're just kind of like a neutral person, and we've brought a lot of shit on ourselves in this city, and maybe in the interest of not having more people looking for us here, we just wait. But I did learn a couple cool new spells. I can tell you all about them on the ride.
I believe you.
Modest in the corner.
You too. I can make you do some cool shit. I'm really excited. Most of them aren't hurt people. I have the hurt people spells, but I have some new ones that's less about just hurting people and more about doing cool things.
That will be useful. Enid and Augustus, are you ready?
Yeah, I spent yesterday using some of my magic, I know you don't like it, Degrane, on my shield to make sure that Durbal's magic still helped it out. So I'm ready to get my lock on, you know what I mean?
Very good, very good.
Do you guys want to go?
Often, I know you're a brute strength, so I'm still worried about you.
Mogden's
You
just
don't
alone in the
require a
corner
pep
with the
talk.
whoopee cushion, trying to like daintily make it fart again.
You also hear the kind of clang of the armored dragonborn, who has been freshly new set of armor, freshly healed from his surgical procedure, and bearing a new blade and shield as he strides into the room. There you go. I've been looking for you. Feeling fit as fiddle. You ready to go?
Cal, you look like 100 gold. You look bright as rain.
I feel like it, honestly. Whatever Ludomir's got is top shelf.
Yeah.
Right?
Mogden's still not understanding how the whoopee cushion works. It's like, sit in this chair, Cal. Sit down. You look very tired. You must sit in this chair here.
Oh, thanks, Mark. No, I appreciate it.
Nothing happened.
Miss Grover, see Mogden?
You have to inflate it first.
Oh.
We'll talk about it on the road. It's a whole thing.
If there's nothing else, I just want to make sure it's incredibly clear. The guy who almost exclusively deals and trades with criminals on the daily and just like has the contact as the fence and deals with the most dangerous people in the city and trading in magical items in the city where it's ultra illegal, maybe don't try to kill that guy. Maybe that guy is going to ruin your day.
That's why we didn't. That's why we didn't go for it.
Nevertheless, you guys are going to set out. Now, before you set out, you do have an option. You have a choice of paths of travel. Ultimately, your goal is to go from Karden to kind of this interim point between the Dracarch Swamp and Bloodrun Bay. But you have a kind of a general idea of, where those two places would, in theory, meet. But it's kind of a general region of kind of swamp and forest territory. But it's on the other side of the Ash Peaks that Karden kind of sits up in, and then they kind of rise up and head to the west. What you cross underneath in the Dracarch Tunnel kind of loops up and around. They're a long range of mountains. So your choices here are going over the mountains. You climb up into the mountains from Karden, climb and scale through the mountains, and then descend, rappelling down with your kind of climbing kits to the point where you think would be the closest to this kind of midway point between Bloodrun Bay and the Dracarch Swamp. Or with various kind of ways of having learned this, but Mogden probably being the most apt for understanding and working within Karden and with the Watchers. There are the Undermountain passes as well that go under the mountain peaks. This is a mining city. It's founded as a mining operation. And within the tunnels under the Ashen Peaks are many different tunnels and old mine shafts and connections to older dwarven halls and things like that that should lead out to the southern side of the Ash Peaks and therefore to this kind of same area you're looking at. In theory, that could be faster, but would require more. That's going to require a lot more of like travel and survival checks and trying to make sure that you're going the right way. Where the overland travel is slightly longer by an extra day or so, but you really don't have any checks to be made. It's pretty obvious which direction you're traveling.
August, if we're talking about this out of character, August hated when we were underground because he loves the sun so much. So he would
in terms of all my directional everything is by the sky, and if I can't see that, I'm not going to be very useful.
No stars. Yeah.
No stars.
Overland travel is only an extra day essentially versus the undermountain travel. It is the safer option. It just takes a little bit more time. Time is not. It is and isn't of the essence in this situation. It's kind of a weird circumstance. But given this, I'll go ahead and just ask for a survival check with advantage from one of the party here.
Nettie!
Yeah, my survival's not actually that good.
I have survival +5 as my bonus. What's yours?
I have +6.
Oh, do it. You do it.
Yeah? Okay.
So go ahead with advantage. with the various party members you have here, just to gauge what the travel will look like, the timing will look like.
21.
Okay, excellent. So to get through the mountain pass and to the point where you guys are kind of, you have a map, you're looking at the point at which you should be looking to descend the mountains, and where you're trying to find that kind of descent point where it's going to be the closest to easiest travel and closest point for all these things. With a 21, you can guarantee that if you set off on this path, on this trajectory, you'll make it 2 days through the mountain and be descending on what would be the third day, and then it's figuring out where to go from there. So that part is indeterminate because you don't know where it is you're going exactly. You'll have to figure that out once you get to that point. But the mountain pass, with how well you've rolled, 2 days to get to the descent point, and then it's searching for the lock itself. You're already set up with your climbing kits and gear, so I think it's high time you head out.
Let's do it.
Okay.
Are we just walking? Do we need a cart or anything? Yeah.
Given the mountain passes, it's going to be a little more difficult to get some of the mounts. Had you been traveling, like going straight to Baern, like through the roads, like heading up towards Grill and all that, you would have had mounts. In this circumstance, it's not going to save you any extra time to have mounts. Because you have to travel slow through mountain terrain and through swamp terrain when you get into like swamp and forest terrain. So it's kind of 6 of 1. And really it's just faster to move on your own without having to worry about another creature.
True.
Which you will inevitably kill. So
we've done it all the time.
Optimistic. Love it.
Just a student of history. The travel, you guys get set off at this about midday point on this day with the 6 of you all together and begin to make your way up into the Ash Peaks. Keeping yourself covered as you make your way out of the actual city itself, using some of the tunnels and sewer tunnels to make your way through the bulk of the actual city, though Ludomir's estate is more in the kind of upper echelon in the, not the River Ward, it might be the River Ward. Mount Ward, actually. And then kind of towards the mining district, and as you're kind of making your way around this area before you kind of rise up on these passes into the mountain itself, you're seeing a wide swath of this city of Karden. You started off in the most aristocratic neighborhood where Ludomir's estate is, where he is set up in massive estates, mansion homes, just wealth galore. And then as you transition further and further and closer towards the mining operation of the Ashen Peaks, you're seeing laborers working in, covered in ash and coal and soot, hacking and coughing for silver and copper a day, struggling and fighting just to pull the things out of this mine. And it's a stark contrast. Obviously, your aims, your goals currently are on a cosmic scale. Not to put too fine a point on it, but it does strike home at some of the things that you have been encountering in this city: the inequality, the fury at how the class system has forced these people into these situations, and those creeping ideas of rebellion and resistance kind of creep back in. But present time, that'll have to be another day, and you guys begin to make your way up into the mountains. In the interest of traveling expediently, the mountains here are close to a major city. There's nothing of huge risk or worry. There's no real threat of major encounter. So for the 2 days that you are going to be into the mountain passes here, time just travels. You guys talk and go about your normal day and night. However, in the interest of giving you guys the opportunity, when you get to that first night's camp, and you do make your camp within the mountain pass itself. By the end of the first kind of half day of travel, you're a little ways into the Ash Peaks. You know you've got a full day of mountain climbing ahead of you, and then the morning after, looking to find that kind of descent point. You set your camp. Is there anything as you guys set up camp for the first time in a long time, kind of true roughing it camp, back in the wilderness, back in after quite a while? Is there anything new to you guys? Anything that you're going to talk about or do as you set up camp for the first night?
I think during this is a little mechanic-y. At some point, I would have done a little magic to summon Ray as like a find familiar owl. So just to have her floating around like that. But I think as we get to this camp here, what's Mogden doing as we're settling down to camp? What's his vibe?
I feel like he's laid out some furs and has tried to maybe use some of his expertise in these kind of things to get the camp as set up as possible, in terms of like bigger overarching tasks like tents and stuff. And now he's trying to see if he can maybe prepare something to eat. I don't know what we brought with us.
Just like rations and stuff, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you have kind of like normal, like hardtack kind of rations, and because you just left the city, you could easily be set up with like the nicer stuff that'll be perishable within a couple of days, knowing that you're going to be traveling for a while. So you have the nicer food now, knowing that it wouldn't last.
Do we have like the makings for like a stew or something? Could he
Most
be like working on a nice hot pot of something for these intrepid travelers who have had a long, tiresome day?
Yeah.
Make something warm to put in their bellies.
I'm going to ask for a check to see how well you how good of a chef you are.
He burns it all, and there's nothing to eat.
Sets himself on fire.
He falls into the cauldron and burns off all his fur again.
Everyone gets poisoned. There is a chef like feat now, but I don't remember what the actual check is for cooking. I'm going to put it in a wisdom school of thought. I'm just looking to see what would be the appropriate cooking check if there was one. Let's do survival. You're roughing it. You're cooking literally on a fire.
All right.
That's survival.
Let's go. I hope for your sake it's a good roll.
Don't poison this, please. It's not bad. It's not bad.
It's not great.
What is it?
It's an 8.
Okay.
You're not used to cooking for other people, you know? It's okay.
Is that like it's raw and you got food poisoning, or is it like it's flavorless, you know?
Yeah, so an 8 does not lead to poisoning. 1 would be you poison the party and everyone's shitting themselves for 3 days. Thankfully, you rolled 2 higher than that. So unfortunately, what you suffer is Tyler has to suffer the fact that the players all know what terrible food Mogden has created, and they're all going to give you the most pitiful, oh, wow, so good, and then just tossing it over their shoulders. And for that, I will ask everyone for a deception or performance check.
Ooh, perfect. Okay.
Does Mogden take psychic damage for this?
Your
Depends
pride
on
takes
how much you
6 points
see
of damage
from everyone here.
Oh no, Enid.
Oh.
I'm so sorry.
I rolled 23. Is that right?
Okay.
I rolled a 21.
Augustus loves it.
It's so good.
Andy is diving into Crane.
Let's be fair.
15 plus
Andy will
1,
eat
16.
anything, so this isn't actually that off. Andy
You've never
will eat
even
fucking
seen
anything.
DeCrane eat a meal, and yet just loving it. Enid?
This is so good. So good.
Eddie.
Mogden looks at her and is like, "Oh, it's okay." Here, and he gives her like one of his dry rations from later, and he's like, "Augustus will eat," and he dumps into his bowl.
Oh, thank you for seconds.
You like very much.
I
Oh, wait, I should
like
check.
it.
Is that they don't eat meat? Is there meat in this?
Yes.
Oh, there's definitely meat in here.
Cal.
It's some kind of meat.
I only eat crab meat.
She's very particular about
Unusual
We did
taste.
murder a giant crab, and she didn't eat it. I couldn't forget about that.
That's okay. I'll eat around the chunks. I'll just like.
Morgan's so embarrassed. He's like, I am so sorry. It's been many months since I cook for friends. This is I will do better next time. I apologize for this.
You hear Cal just like bite hard into a bone. Spits out. They're supposed to come out before me.
Maybe after dinner with my decanter of endless water, I'll help clean up with our plates. I'll just be like taking care of the bowls and stuff. But I'll switch up the vibe. I guess I'll talk to Nettie first about it as I'm cleaning the little plates. I'll be like glancing over to Mogden, but then I'll be near you, Nettie, and I'll just say like,
Earlier, Andy and I found Mogden, and he was just kind of taking a moment to himself before we got started. But he was talking about he feels like he's failed people in the past. Were you there when he talked about having a daughter? Do you remember that?
Oh. No. I don't believe I was.
I think I might go ask him about it because I feel like he's carrying it around.
Oh, yeah, that's a good idea. Poor guy.
Yeah. That stew actually was terrible. I was just pretending.
Oh, it was god awful. But he tried.
He tried. That's not good though. He
He's
tried
gotta
though.
do better.
Yeah, he will.
Like he needs help.
Okay, I'm gonna go over to there and I'll see how it goes.
Okay, let me know how it goes after.
collect all the bowls and just kind of shuffle over to Mogden.
Hey, Moggy, great stew.
I am glad you liked. It is my pleasure to make this dish from my homeland for you.
Really good. Yeah.
Enid liked as well. Yes.
It's just that she wished it had crab in it. Was I think the biggest thing.
I see. Not for her then. I will remember this for next time.
Yeah. I was thinking about what you were talking about earlier this morning. You mentioned, and you can tell me if this is too much, like too intruding, because we're kind of new to each other. You mentioned having a daughter back before Sanctuary. Is that kind of where some of the, the stuff you were talking about this morning comes from?
He kind of pauses, and his eyes kind of drop, and the cheery demeanor sort of melts away, and he sighs and goes, Yes, I had a daughter once, many years ago, from my homeland. I have not seen her since I left Baern.
And you feel like you kind of failed her in some way?
She was the light of my life, and it was my job to protect her. I was the eldest son of the chief of my tribe, and it was my place to rule my people when my father passed. This was well known to my tribe, and it was decided that I would take on this role when the time was right. And my wife and my daughter, they would be by my side during this time. But one night, the arrival of a chief from another tribe wanted this power for himself, and later I discovered also my wife. And in the early hours of one cold night, with the help of my wife, took the lives of my mother and my father, and my daughter was taken from me as prisoner, collateral, however you want to say, and I was cast out from my tribe. I have not seen her since this day, but I have spent many years trying to find her again, and this journey has taken me over many places, many lands, through many battles. But the Watchers is where I have hung my head since then, but it has always been my hope that one day I would return to my homeland to find my daughter and to reclaim my place among my tribe and my people. But I have carried this great sadness for the failure to keep my daughter from being taken from me. My wife's betrayal is something that I have come to make peace with, but the loss of my daughter has been perhaps the greatest pain of my life, and one that I carry with me every day that I continue to draw breath.
I'm so sorry to hear all that.
It is okay, Augustus. It is not your fault. These things, they happen. You know, it is a tough world that we live in, and there are bad people amongst us that want bad things driven by selfish motivations, but we do not choose what happens. We choose how we deal with these things when they happen, and that has been the best I can do for myself. But it does bring me back to a pace of pain when I think upon her. She was so small and so young when she was taken, and I fear now that she may not even recognize me. I might not even recognize her. Her entire life has been, I suppose, lived without me there, but it is still my wish that I will reunite with her someday, and all will be right again in this world.
Can I let you know a secret?
And I'll like shift so that my back is to Nettie.
I'm kind of worried about Nettie and I's past, and though I don't have like the sadness that you do from knowing yours, I'm really worried that we're going to discover sadness when we go back to the Feywild. There's almost like a comfort in not knowing what we left. When we were, like weeks ago, we encountered some people from the Feywild, and they looked at Nettie in such a strange way. They mentioned that she carried the same bow that they did. They looked at her like these were bad people. And I don't know, it made me nervous, some of the stuff we're going to find out if we ever go back to the Feywild.
You and your sister are brave.
Yeah, I try to be brave for her.
I can tell. You have a very special bond between two of you, and you are lucky to have each other in this. It is a strange and lonely world at times, and to have your own flesh and blood among you in these hard times is a gift, and I envy you in this, and it is something to be celebrated, even though there is pain of not knowing your future. Perhaps in discovering it together, you will find peace and be able to move forward with all the good that is yet to come from this beautiful life that you are making together. Because you are lucky to be together and to have each other, even in the hard times.
Yeah, you're right. Well, listen, you're helping us maybe discover what's the real past with Nettie and I, and we'll help you reconnect with your past too.
I appreciate this very much, Augustus. It has been, well, a long time since I have spoken to anyone, really, about this part of my past. I suppose it is without saying that Mogden is somewhat of a lonesome creature and goes about his business in solitude, but it is still lonely at times, and it is very, well, it brings joy to my heart to have friends now to share in these hard times, but also in the good. And while unexpected, this union has been one of great joys in my life, and I will protect you with everything that I can, and it would bring me much joy to find your friend and to achieve success in this quest that we are embarking on now. Because if there is one thing that infuriates me, it is the taking of those who are unable to fend for themselves, especially the children, and it will bring me much satisfaction to deal justice to those that have taken this small one that you have come to know as Ursa.
We might not be, flesh and blood like me and Nettie, but, we're fur and blood.
And I'll put my little paw out to you.
He gives you a little fist bump and then like a big slap on the back, like kadoosh.
Oh, God.
I like your fire, Ogi. You will make brave warrior, I can tell. You will always be welcome in my tribe.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, the crane says I got some work to do to be a warrior, but I think he's just trying to be hard on me to make me tough.
Well, you can help me kill the man that took my chieftain's place, and then you can be a warrior member of my tribe, honorary, yes?
Okay, sure.
This would bring me much happiness.
Thanks for telling me about that. I'm gonna go make sure my sister's not throwing up, because I don't think she was feeling well earlier.
He kind of puts his paw on your shoulder, and the jokey demeanor kind of dissipates, and he looks you right in the eyes, kind of like kneels down to your height, and he says, "Thank you, Augustus. This has lifted a great weight from my heart, and perhaps you don't know it, but this will help me in the days that come. I appreciate you."
I appreciate you. You'll help us too.
Kind of nods.
Give a little nod and scoot back and go over to Nettie and just give her a thumbs up.
He continues to like scoop out the pot of the horrible stew that he's made, and
are there any other conversations between your party here?
I think it's mostly just now that we're out on the road, Andy's getting back into that routine, which is her entire life is being out on the road. So just slowly getting back into her regular routine, though with significantly less community to aid in that routine from what she's used to. What's the sky like tonight? Is it cloudy?
Roll a d20.
it's on fire.
A 12.
On a 12, you guys are still in kind of like winter, so it is cloudy, and the temperature is as is the season. So it's cold, but given the warmth of the fire and your kind of gear, it doesn't feel terrible. But it is an obscured sky.
I think no matter what, I mean, it's always probably longer or more impactful if the sky's clear, but she'll go through like what I imagine being like a regular kind of ritual within at least her heading of like some kind of process of praying to Koros for clear skies, safe passage, all of those things, which I'd imagine no matter what involves like the tattoos in some form in terms of like removing your garments or not all of them obviously, but within a little bit, and using she does have like at least half of her spell sash, she does have like some kind of religious symbolism on it. Mm-hmm. and just goes through her ritual that she'll do as long as they're on this plane, But she kind of, through that whole process, realizes that before she just couldn't see the sky, but she knew they were there, and this is going to be the first time the skies might be different.
Mm-hmm.
And is just thinking about that implication, and then thinking about the stories they were told about how potentially these stars came about in the first place, and it's very conflicting.
I'd ask for a religion check from you, please.
Sure. That wasn't great. It's a 9 on the dice, but I don't remember what my religion is. It's probably just a 4. Yeah, it is. 13.
With a 13, I think as you go through the rituals and you go through the process, what you're finding is you're stumbling here and there, a little out of practice of doing this consistently. There is a somewhat, like you don't really feel, you don't feel the shame of showing any of your body. That doesn't bother you at all. But there is like there's an element in like the back of your mind that's just like, when you're doing it alone, that feels odd compared to how the shepherds would normally do it communally. It's not a shame, but it is just a moment of like, of just feeling a little bit alone. Doesn't help that the stars aren't out. Doesn't help that you know this potential history, this idea of the stars now, and this kind of history of things and the trepidation going forward. But yeah, you just note that you trip and you stumble through some of the what were once second nature, now you have to put a little bit more thought into, and it's just a moment of reflection for you.
And I think now that they've actually had time, like, she doesn't feel it when she's in the city because it feels so different. But this might be the first night in a long time of like truly feeling like homesick for her heading and all the people who she spent her entire life with.
Yeah. As you just kind of finish your rituals and elements, you do notice the sky is ever so slightly clearer. Maybe it's coincidence. Maybe it's movement of the clouds, but there's a piece of you that hopes that the desire to see the stars was heard through the chorus.
As the stars come out, like just because it's a little bit her tattoos and her freckles and everything, just shimmer and reflect a little bit before the cloud covers.
Just the faintest of glow before you kind of rebundle up to the cold. As you all begin to settle in for rest, DeCrane presumably not resting without the need for sleep, meditating, but keeping a somewhat vigil. And with the 6 of you, the need to do watches is made a little easier, as you can take smaller, shorter shifts in these situations and be up for only an hour or 2 compared to the normal kind of longer stretch that you'd have to be to encompass the night. So a little easier, and especially a lot easier when DeCrane doesn't need to sleep. So as you all kind of bed down, stoke the flames, you fall into a night's rest. However, Andy, in your night's rest, in this somewhat fitful sleep, you toss and turn, never quite comfortable, and finally, as you sit up to readjust, maybe stoke the flames, get a drink of water, you sit upright and are no longer in the mountains, but floating in a maelstrom of white and silver. Your hair and clothing whips around you in all directions, disorienting. It sends you into a spiraling, weightless tumble before you come to an abrupt halt, face to face with the being you saw in this same place before, back when you reestablished the connections to the Divine Network. This feminine face of swirling white and black energy, like a storm cloud. She regards you with the tilting head of a puppy, as she kind of orbits around you in this weightless frame, shifting and moving all around you. The hurricane of potential just beyond this figure's orbit continues at the pace of such a storm. Inside this little orbit, everything is still and quiet. We've met before. I know your face. I have seen as you have. You have seen the end of days. You have felt the approach of ruin. The paths that once led elsewhere are changing. The winds shift. Fate spins along this road to ruin, but your path is different. She kind of looks off, and from the vibrant storm, you see a hand kind of emerge from her body and rapidly shoot forward, palm out, and from it, an ethereal bridge of energy begins to form and tear in the space before her. The storm, the hurricane again returns, but within this bridge, within this portal that you can see opens onto the other side of a somewhat familiar sight, is a brilliantly starlit sky. From high atop the peaks of Feather Rock, you can see the horizon bridge beckoning. She holds her hand steady, and without looking, just, I cannot hold the door for long, but they will come. Just kind of gestures ahead towards.
I'll take some steps forward.
It's weightless, so you just think and float until you set one foot onto the bridge and weight returns. And you foot, step, step, step. As you cross through the threshold of worlds, you feel that weight return, and at the crossing of the threshold into this other space, you see a figure stands ahead of you. For a moment, there's a concern, but you can feel an overwhelming warmth, an inviting presence. It warms over you. Familiar in a way that you can't quite place. Continue. As you grow closer, within 10 feet or so, you watch as the figure kind of turns and they begin to glow and their image sharpens. Standing tall and broad-shouldered, pale purple skin and flowing deep purple hair, you see an angel. Their wings unfurl, and the purple of the twilight sky and the sparkle of starlight bursts within the wings. And you feel your own form shift in kind. Identical wings unfurl from your back, and tattoos of yours ignite and glow with pale light. Not only your shepherd tattoos, but an entire star system of light, constellations, lines, and dots. Starlight beams from within you across your entire form. This angelic figure before you smiles warmly from beneath a purple helm that covers the face and ends just above the nose. You can't quite see their eyes. On the other side of the helm, the wings of ethereal light, kind of energy, a light at the side. You see similar kind of plates atop shoulders, pauldrons, and a chest plate, forearms, and thighs. And as you step closer, you can see ethereally the same reflected on you. Andromeda, it is an honor to meet you face to face. I have long desired this chance, and with Koros' blessing and the strength of the power cosmic, we have but a moment.
I'm sorry, should I know who you are? I feel like I do, but I don't.
We have never met, and yet I have been with you all your life. It was known as Hephalia, a solar of Koros, and I have been with you since, well, even before your birth. You know the story of when your mother fell, yes?
Yes. Someone brought her back.
She nods and smiles. When your mother fell, when she called out to Koros for aid, it was not to save herself, but to protect the child she carried. Your mother's love for you, before you were even born, was so great, and faith in Koros had never once wavered. In his divine sight, he saw both of your journeys, your lives cut short, and he sought to intervene. But the evils of the ash were pervasive, even then. And they've only grown stronger. The magic of the divine was whisked away. The power of sacrifice is impotent. You and your mother were saved, and my light, as the servant of Koros, now lives within you.
What does that mean for you, then?
I don't know what you mean.
I'm trying to figure out. Sorry, this is a lot to process. I mean, I knew the story, and I thought it was like just a pure Revivify thing. I didn't. Everyone gets the story wrong.
It's a difficult one to tell. In honesty, I say sacrifice only because that is the name you've put to that kind of a power, but I see it not as sacrifice. I feel it not as sacrifice. It is my faith and my service to my God and to you. I live within you, and you live for me, for him, for yourself.
Is that why I can see things?
It is especially why you can see things. It is especially why you alone seem to bear a bridge between the divine and the mortal realm. The evil that pervades Vigil, it has grown too great for the divine to sustain. It repels us. As you have seen, can quiet the words of the divine. The messengers of the gods have tried and failed to cross the threshold. We are kept at bay. But you and I, we share a unique bond. Your connection to Koros is innate. It is beyond the grasp of this evil. Thus you and he may commune, his visions shared through you, as long as your faith holds true.
So everything I've seen were his. His directly. So why is everything stuck? Is it this whole we live in a ball of who knows what and we're not where we're supposed to be? Is that it?
There are many things at play. The new realm that we exist in now. This cosmic creation of the Genesis Cradle. It is unsustainable. But that is not what is causing this barrier. The evil within Vigil itself, the servants of the Dark Hunger, the evil of those who are born of your world. They seek to drown out all that is good. And when those scales of balance are destabilized, such things happen. I apologize to put all this on you, but it is only in these few moments we have to give you some form of comfort and answer, explanation and aid. There is a path for you to lead Vigil through and subvert ruin, to see a new dawn.
I'm sorry, I saw Scott's face. And we all know what that means. Every time Kyle says something cool. Oh, God. What do I do, though? I mean, just one person. I'm one person who doesn't know anything. I'm not good at this.
It is not for you alone. You should seek help and aid those around you. Just as us shepherds, we work as a community. We work together to lift one another up. But, just as the shepherds, we look to our leaders to lead the way, to shine the light brightest, that we may find our way home. What I ask of you, what Koros asks of you through me, reforge the cradle, bring us home, unite the seven, for they have lost their way. In this false world we are alone, adrift in a sea neath a starless sky. But only together can we succeed.
How long do we have?
There is no way to know. The evil grows faster every day, stronger every day. The faster we can move, the better. And it will be hard, as all voyages worth taking always are. But we are with you every step of the way. She reaches a hand out to kind of accept yours, kind of hold your hands together as she says these kind of this final sentiment. And with your hands kind of clasped, she reaches her hand out and kind of reaches towards your shoulder and towards your heart, towards the upper chest. We will always be with you, and we will aid you however we can. You feel the warmth spread across your chest. You feel a mark of Koros put upon you. Where would you like a new tattoo?
Sick.
So cool.
Face tat.
Yeah, go Charlie Manson style, like right here.
Or around your eye. That'd be sick.
I think
Throat tat.
she'd want to be somewhere where she could see it, because a lot of her tattoos are on her back or on the sides of her arms. So I'd imagine something almost like where if you were to like hold your hands together, if she's holding my hands like this, that kind of spreads across the inside if you were to hold your arms together.
Cool.
Love it. The tattoo takes on the shape of the symbol of Koros, an archway and bridge that crosses over troubled water and void. And at the apex, at the point where the two arms would meet, is an amethyst star. You may add the amethyst star, awoken item, to your inventory.
Ooh, sick.
That's so cool.
It's a cursed item.
You can never take it off.
You feel just this kind of shift and quake of the space around you. And you break from looking at Hephalia for a moment, and you look around, and this is Feather Rock. This is the Horizon Bridge, but it is not this world. you see the landscape beyond is vast forest and beautiful ecosystems. You can see creatures galore. Like, it is a thriving world, a natural world, and an aurora of 1,000 colors and tenfold stars in the sky above. It is a picturesque heaven. Our connection will not last much longer.
How do I... What if I need to talk to you again?
Do as all faithful of Koros do.
What happens when I can't see the stars?
Know that they're still there.
May your skies be clear.
She goes to speak, and everything dissipates. You just hear faintly, and the stars be bright. You awaken in your tent, in your sleeping bag, whatever it is you've set up in the Ashen Peaks, to a clear, starlit sky above. Crackle of the fire beside you and your friends. A loud, snoring dragonborn, likely a bear as well. Do you feel comforted or more scared now?
I think there's a mixed feeling of the comfort of, for a long time she thought that she'd always been told that she was something special of Koros, a child of Koros, but had no evidence. And there was expectation with nothing happening. So there's a bit of relief that what she's been told her whole life is true, and almost a little bit of, not disappointment, that's the wrong word, but there's a little part of her that's always hoped that she could almost do the opposite. Of do the rebellious teenager, everyone's been telling this my whole life, I'm going to do my own thing. And it's just, she's just playing with those two things. A bit of relief. She's more relieved than she thought she would be, but is unsure what that means for who she is and whether she's still her own person.
Yeah. Thoughts to mull over. Probably a little difficult to fall back asleep.
Yeah.
But I think, given the wear and tear of the last leg of your adventure, and
the stars help a lot.
Comfort of the stars, and the presence of this new tattoo, and the emboldening presence that you feel of the magic within, you feel a little bolstered, a little stronger. And there, I think there is a certain comfort in the response of your god, this deity who you have spent your life in service of, not in the most traditional sense, but this is a non-traditional religion. It's as close as you're going to get to, confirmation that he has seen and heard you. Know your prayers are going somewhere.
Yeah, she didn't just pretend to be a cleric. She tried for a really long time, and it didn't work.
Because you're too magic.
Nevertheless, you fall asleep after a bit of time. And morning comes to you all once more in the Ashen Peaks as you continue your journey onward. The next day passes with relative ease, and you will reach one more night's camp, and the morning thereafter, based on the survival check roll earlier, will make your way to the nearest point to descend to the kind of midpoint of the swamp and Bloodrun Bay, as best you can tell. But travel here is not going to be tricky or anything for any of you. So obviously, if there are anything you guys want to be doing during this time or conversations you want to have, feel free. Otherwise, we can breeze through the travel part of this portion.
Down the breeze.
Any like downtime just accumulate over time, and you're welcome to tell me when I've read enough. I know I was given a couple other books by the Watchers, but I do want to dig further into the laws of preclusion and exile now that we've heard what exile is, and just try to learn a little bit more about that. And also trying to provide this is like a Watcher Bible almost. So like trying to learn more about the Watchers through the book.
Yeah, absolutely. You
I'll
travel
take as much time through the weeks as it takes to do that.
Yeah. But just for this leg of travel, there's not going to be a ton beyond the mountain portion of travel here. So, but you will have several hours of downtime over the last night prior to this conversation, this night coming forward. So just go ahead and make call it an investigation check.
Natural 20.
Oh,
Nice.
a new
Rolling
tattoo.
Tattoo loves.
The laws of preclusion and exile. With the context of now knowing that exile is a place, exile is a prison plane. A lot of things click more into perspective. It was written in such a way that you could assume exile to be what most people would think of exile as being exiled from a place, being pushed out from society.
Not a real place, but like a state of being.
A state of being and being pushed out of normal society. Instead, understanding the context of that it is a prison, that is a cell, changes the context of you have to basically reread the book, knowing what that means. And you do learn a bit more about the Watchers in how they operate, how they think, how they how their thought process around exile kind of came to be, that there were beings that were too powerful and too much of a threat to normal life, normal society, but they were uncomfortable with the idea of just killing people and being judge, jury, executioner over whoever they deemed powerful or a threat. And so this was their kind of alternative in a kind of a painless alternative to dealing with these threats. Within the tome, within After 20, you can see like over the writing, there is like internal strife and fight over whether like should there be sentence terms, like it's a prison, should it act the same way, but like when would we ever release demons back? Like, well, how can we ever give that? How is that not better than just letting them die and go back to their home world? Well, then they could come back. It's a cyclical argument that is happening within their own doctrine, and it never comes to an answer in the end. Like, and this is an older text as well. This is prior to exile shifting to more of the mirror dimension, the mirror, the Watchtower that you guys have as like the new world order of this same idea. Was this one was laws and preclusion, preclusion and exile, where you found the spells? So you found protection from good and evil and banishment?
I don't think it was banishment.
What was the other one?
I'm going to find it.
Is it dispel evil and good?
Is protection from evil and good? God, we got it so
Banishment.
long ago.
Let's get banishment instead.
I'll take banishment. I don't. Oh no, you're right. It is okay. Protection from evil and good, which I've learned. Banishment and magic circle were the three.
Oh, sick!
Noted that I could learn eventually.
Yes. So banishment is on there, and magic circle you could learn with the spells that you have now. But with the natural 20, I gotta dig into my notes. This is so old, gang.
This is from so long ago.
Let me dig in to see what there was another spell that was hidden behind a layer of needing to roll for it. So let me dig into the notes of that. Is there anything else anyone else wants to like have a conversation or do beyond this, or is this be cool just to give me a second to look at this?
Yeah.
I'm gonna give you a second. I'm gonna go pee if we do that.
Yeah, okay. Okay, jumping back in. So over the period of a day and a half, 2 days, where you're traveling in your downtime, going through this book, rereading it with a new context, less of learning the actual spell that you have learned before with these protection from good and evil, magic circle, and banishment. You understand that there are spell elements here, but the actual formula is not within this book. But what you come to understand is the way an exile cell is created to build onto what already exists within exile involves a series of kind of a triangle, a trifecta of what is called a vestige. And you can craft a vestige through magic, intrinsically tied to the target and the cell. So you create this kind of cell, vestige, and soul-bound kind of target. And you need all of these pieces together alongside a guardian, like someone to protect and watch over the kind of terrestrial cell so that it, it still exists here. There is like a doorway here into the cell that it connects to the demi-plane, the larger planar expanse of exile, but needs an internal guardian to watch over it. But you basically gather that this create vestige and this send to exile are spells in some capacity. It's a very rudimentary understanding. You're kind of picking the pieces up, but you've rolled a natural 20 with this information, with the context of this information. So it's like it's giving you the route to pursue further information on the information, the starting point of your next kind of delve into this side of things.
Awesome, thank you.
So, with Andy's downtime there, and you guys kind of content and moving forward in your travel, you find your way to this early morning on this kind of third day of travel. You find your way to the top of the Ash Peaks here, and with collective kind of survival and travel, proficiencies. You find your way towards the southernmost kind of peak and find a relatively sheer face to look down into this kind of forest and swampland. And at the best approximation, you can see Bloodrun Bay and the kind of deeper, darker swamp on either side. This would be this expanse of a couple of miles. Like it's not like it's straight down this one spot. It's still an expanse here to try and figure out where exactly you're going. However, this is the spot as best you can tell. So setting up with your climbing kits, you will need to make your descent.
This never goes bad for us. So great.
I'm just gonna climb down.
You are fine.
You fucking mate.
You have spider. You don't need to do any of this.
Do we have to roll for this? What are we rolling?
Everyone is going to roll for this, and everyone is going to make a series of athletics checks.
Okay.
Even I have to roll?
Crane, you don't have to roll. You can just spider climb.
Do I get advantage on all of my athletics checks or just one?
I think you only get advantage if you're raging.
Oh, I'm angrily rappelling down this mountain.
If you would like to expend one of your rages, and you don't have to be, this furious monster, but you can be, focusing energy of the natural world into making sure that you were doing this like with precision. Feel free to.
I might eat my words later, but I got a natural. Oh no, not natural 20. I got a 20 on the first roll, so I'm gonna just like roll the dice here and see what happens.
Absolutely. Call him up.
Can I turn into a bear cat for this?
Yes, and you can have advantage on your rolls.
Amazing.
I got 8.
Okay.
I got 5.
Okay.
Oof.
I got 20.
Okay. Bearcat.
Just looking at if I have a better athletics as a bear cat.
Do the bear cat.
I add
Does the
plus.
bear cat have a climbing speed?
It has a 30-foot climbing speed. So let me just roll athletics twice. I would add a +2 to this.
Yeah. So in your instance, Scott, you're still rolling. You're going to take the advantage, but the DC internally on my side is different because you have a climbing speed. It's less about like how you're working with like rappelling in the gear and properly tamping in like your pittance and all that kind of shit. You're just trying to climb. So it's like how well, do you lose your footing entirely or do you just climb normally? What'd you roll?
16
Totally.
with advantage. Yeah.
So Andy and Enid, that's one failure.
Yeah.
DC
Go ahead
increases.
and roll my portents for the day because I haven't done that.
I'm not rolling.
No, DC, you're fine. I meant the difficulty class increases.
Right.
Augustus and Mogden, that are both successes. Go ahead and roll check number 2, please, everybody.
Okay.
Oh yeah, baby. It's a 22
Great.
for Mogden.
Nice.
Mogden
I got a
practiced ease.
21 for me.
Amazing.
Hey.
Enid, that's a
know.
6.
Why I keep going to check what my add to it because that's 0. So 13.
13 is a success.
Okay.
Enid, your top pitten slips out and you plummet. The pittons are meant to drop you down only about a maximum of 20 feet or so before your harness catches and holds you in place. However, the double failure, you've lost one pitten, your second pitten is hanging on by a thread. This check is now going to be, does your rope snap? This third check, because should you fail this third check, it's over.
Okay.
And you do
I
suffer
guess.
8 points of bludgeoning damage from the just portion like snap
Okay.
as you smack down from that
Ooh.
that fall.
Can I get up?
I'm going to highlight one thing. You're all climbing down and at various different speeds. Those of who have failed are moving slower. Enid has fallen now to kind of meet the same level as like Andy, but in theory, Augustus is using climbing speed. But Mogden, like you would be like moving way down faster. The Crane, you're just walking, so you can just be doing kind of whatever you want.
Can I roll to try and catch her or something?
If she falls,
If she
absolutely.
falls? Okay.
Oh yeah. If there will be several attempts to save her life.
Okay.
Of that,
Can I-
sure.
If I'm too far, obviously you can't do this, but could I try and get to her to sacrifice my advantage to give her advantage on this roll?
She's going to have disadvantage, so be giving her a straight roll.
Maybe I'll do that. I'm okay with it.
Okay, so straight rolls for both of you.
Yeah. I hustle over to her as a bear cat and try and use my tail to like help her not flail as much.
Okay, so straight rolls for both of you. However, in the event of a failure,
Yeah.
it will hurt both of you.
That's how I want it.
Oh no.
Oh, double or nothing.
Andy and Mogden also checks for you.
Okay.
All around.
Oh my god.
That's going to be a 19 for Mogden.
A-okay, making your way.
11.
Okay,
18?
18 is totally fine. An 11 is a failure at the increased DC as a result of 2 failures.
I think the way this works, I only rolled a 9. So I think the way that that's going to flavor is I'm watching Enid and focusing less on myself, and I'll use a portent to make sure she doesn't
give
fall.
Yourself to make sure she doesn't fall. Yours is going to fail.
I know, but I haven't taken 2 fucking failures.
Okay.
I'm focused, like, the way I was focusing on Enid.
What do you give Enid's roll?
A 17 on the dice.
Okay. I was going to say, and this is like, she's 2 fails. The DC has increased. A 17 plus whatever.
17
What's
on
your
the dice
athletics?
plus whatever.
Al?
Mine is +4.
Okay. So, there's a moment that your pitten up top slips and you drop like 5 feet, and Augustus is like kind of clinging onto you and holding and steadies you, and Andy's magic manages to kind of force the pitten back in, forces it to kind of revert back to its former state, and you guys are able to kind of very slowly rappel down. That moment unfortunately does cost Andy 6 points of bludgeoning damage as your top pitten slips out. You drop, but are able to then, from that point, slowly kind of make your way down. Everyone at this stage makes their way to the bottom of the Ashen Peaks, and you unhook your harnesses, and you leave your pittons behind, and have made your way down into this kind of swampy forest floor, and now have the challenge of trying to find Loch Lilypad. It's well before midday. It's you've only been kind of at this for an hour or 2 this morning, so you've got the bulk of today's travel remaining before you, as you are kind of now into this bog area looking for the loch and the frogs. So what do you do? I will point out one last thing of the terrain that you're in. You can only travel at a slow pace given the terrain itself. So to give that a little bit of context, within an hour you can cover 2 miles or 3 kilometers at a maximum, to a max of 18 miles, 30 kilometers a day. But given that you're only going to have a couple, like a 3/4 of a travel day here, you're not making a significant amount of distance here, but hopefully you'll be able to find it within the day's trek. So what are we doing?
Did we get any... Sorry, Scott. I was going to say, did we get any major hints about where... I can't remember, like, where this loch might be. I remember there was some specific, like, clues about some of the other things in terms of the boughs of the trees, but I don't remember with regards to the frog.
The only kind of inkling that you got from this one was it is the boundary, the meeting point between Bloodrun Bay and the swamp. So honing in on that point, but really the biggest kind of clue for this place was an abundance of frogs.
Okay. Let us look for frogs.
Keep your ears up and listening.
I would have transformed from a bear cat to rabbit guy. Can I use Ray in her owl form to try and do a little drone reconnaissance around us, see if they can spot a like pond or a lily area?
Sure. Go ahead and make a perception check.
Can I put myself in her to do that, to use my perception?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Sweet.
You guys take a little bit of time to just kind of, as you're unhooking everything, getting yourself settled.
23.
Okay. Taking 5-10 minutes to like go through and just like fly around and take a look. There's nothing immediately within 5 minutes, a quick jaunt of you here. With that, I'll give you the fact that like, obviously tree cover is pretty dense, so very difficult to kind of get anything from an aerial perspective. Trying to get an overview. Once you get close, you'll be able to kind of spy where a potential clearing for a pond or lake would be, but at the initial stages, it's going to be difficult to ascertain that from here.
And why don't we I think we need to get a little farther into it before we could probably find where all those froggies are. So you guys want to follow me in?
We'll lead the way. There is only mountain behind. Let us move toward frog.
And Nettie, don't die this time when we're walking through this.
Sorry, I didn't mean to. It was an accident.
Oh my god.
That's why they call them accidents.
You're just thinking about whoopee cushions the whole time, not looking where you're supposed to be going?
Now I am.
Should have landed on it. You should just thrown it down.
That's actually what I wanted to go.
How did she die? Oh.
She died how she lived. Yeah, I will set out and try and guide us. I'll try and find the least mucky path through this to try and work our way in.
Headed just due south, or
south, I guess, into the swamp. You kind of described it as to get farther into the swamps where we might find those lakes and water, right?
So yeah, based on the check from earlier, you guys are, as best you can tell, in the middle of the swamp to your right, Blood Run Bay to your left, and this kind of meeting point of landmass that has risen up slightly from the water from the bay, but does descend ever so slightly and still is marsh and swamp to your west. Heading south gives you we're still in the middle here somewhere. We'll hopefully try and find the path that is the middlest of middle. So south is your best bet, but there is kilometers on either side of you to search as well. So it's not as straightforward as straight due south and you will find it. But it's as good a place to start as any.
Could we see from the mountain if there was a pinch point where those two features kind of come together, or is it just sort of one's on the left, one's on the right, and we're kind of having to search the ballpark area, or is there a point that might be more of a convergence than
there was nothing that was obvious from on high, and nor as obvious as Ray in an owl or form could see. The difficulty here is that there's so much. It's really dense, and then it's sparse here and there, and then it's dense over here, and then sparse here and there. The woodland and the wetlands here are so kind of intertwined that if you looked at every gap, you'd be forever stopping every 5 minutes when you're looking at it from an aerial perspective. So there has to be some way to find something a little bit more terrestrial to give you your inkling here. I guess this is going to roll a survival check here to at least get things started, and then see if you guys can come up with any ideas on that regard.
Nat 20!
Hey.
28 total. And I was thinking of what Mogden was saying, so I think in his head he's kind of seeing where Mogden's head's at. He's remembering all the conversations about the Fae and remembering these boundaries lie. The Fae crossings it when two things meet, life and death, and those landmarks and stuff. So he's kind of channeling that, I think, as he's moving forward in this. And perhaps even remembering this conversation with Mogden last night of let's not run from our past. Let's not be scared of it. Let's do it together.
Okay. Amazing. So you begin just headed in this southern direction with renewed kind of fervor, and begin to try and find the best kind of high road, so to speak, so as not to be sunken down in the muck, and do a great job at managing to lead the party here, single file, kind of following in Augustus' footsteps along this. There's no road, there's no path. Augustus is just carving it himself, so to speak. But it is keeping you all out of the muck and the mud. And the further and deeper you travel over the next hour, 2 hours, you cover a good swath of terrain. but with no further kind of indication of which way to go. You're just kind of getting into the mix of things, and I think the best way to put it is that like you feel like you are getting closer in the sense that the terrain is beginning to grow like slightly more vibrant here and there. You're seeing a little bit more presence of wildlife, and there's almost like a sense of if it's hot on one side, cold on one side, the temperature is meeting more nice in this middle. You're finding this kind of whatever you want to consider this liminal middle zone. You feel like you're a little more attuned to it, given perhaps your druidic nature, perhaps your fey nature. You just happen to be attuning a little bit better to this middle ground, but not solidly got a lead on it yet.
Can Mogden do a perception check for any animal or wildlife sounds? Like, can he hear any frog croaking or anything in this swamp?
Most definitely.
Is it possible to try and speak to one of these frogs that he hears?
Should you find one? Yeah.
Call out to one, or can he look for a frog?
Yeah.
What would be involved in that?
Well, let's start with a perception check.
Okay.
It's what you were trying to do this morning. You've been focused on our last.
He really wants to see one.
I've never seen one.
That's a 20.
Okay, excellent. So just to put not just the frogs, abundance of wildlife. You're hearing and seeing all manner of kind of squirrels skittering through trees above you. There are birds of birds of prey. There are hawks. You see kind of as you're kind of coming closer towards some of these kind of more swampy areas. You're seeing like herons, and there are small muskrats and stoats and things kind of scurrying through the underbrush. There are turtles that are kind of roaming around. You see brightly colored kind of weasels and some other kind of birds that fly away before you even get a real good chance to get a look. Signs of badgers, all manner of critter found within here. And certainly, to your ears, the croaking of frogs, notably not, an abundance. Like it's not like you're going to turn a corner and find this place, but you're certainly hearing frogs around. And with that roll, you can get close enough to at least try to get close to talk to one.
He would like to try.
Are you going to try and just try and speak to it, like, casting your speak with animals, or are you going to try and coax it to come to you and like pick it up?
Oh, that's interesting. What would be involved with? I mean, I feel like I would need to speak with it regardless, but what would be involved with trying to get it to come to me?
The animal handling. You can try and coax it to you through, whatever it is about frogs, to try and coax it to you, to try and entice it to you.
Knowledge of frogs.
Well, hello. Come to me, little friend.
Approaching it with a kind, warm, I'm not going to eat you mentality.
Let's give it a shot. Let's see if I can come hither, a little frog friend.
Okay, animal handling for me.
It was a 17, and then it hit the edge of the browser and then rolled to 3. So that's going to be a 5.
Okay. The attempt to kind of coax it towards you with perhaps your accent and general bareness. Frog not tripped up. He knows you're going to eat him. And he scurries off. He hops off into the woods. Thankfully, you see others with the wolf from previous. You may attempt a different frog with a different tactic.
Okay. So animal handling, not so great. Maybe Maybe I just try at this point, recognizing that I am a big scary bear, to just speak out to one of these frogs to try and convince them I am a friend and that I would like to seek their counsel.
Okay. How do you phrase this?
Do I have to do anything for my speak with animals, or can?
It's a spell you just cast, and I think you just have it for an hour or something like that.
Okay, cool. So how would I say this? Okay, I'd be like, my friends, hello. I do not mean you any harm. I know that I am a big bear and that you would think that I want to eat you, but I just seek to speak with you. My friends and I, we are in search of, how do you say, bridge to other world. Perhaps I hear the term feywild used, and you are told to be guardians of this place. And we seek guidance on where to find more of your kind that may be able to help us bridge this gap from this place we are now to the other side of the realm. Can you assist in this task? Hello?
That was a lot of big words for a frog.
What's he doing?
You call out to the amassed wildlife in the area. Go ahead and make a persuasion check for me.
Oh, God. Okay.
You got it, Moggy. This is a
There's a really bad little frog monologue.
frog-a-log.
Oh, frog friend.
That was really loud. Sorry.
Well, Mogden is
Me
back
opening
to
a
his
bottle.
true form.
Oh. What happened?
Of course, I roll like 20 climbing down the mountain, but like now that we actually need to do something, it's like 3. That was a 3.
Is it a nat 1 though?
If it's a 4 minus
Oh,
1.
minus 1.
Yeah.
Worse then?
The party behind you just watches as Mogden speaks to the creatures of this space, who regard him as if we spoke to the creatures of this space with the ability to actually speak to them. They just they don't really give a shit. However, as you are kind of standing there, and there's a long minute of nothing happening before you hear the kind of shift in the branch above you. Hey, Ben. Up here.
But who said this? Hello? Good.
You guys all hear from behind. A crow looks down at Mogden. You looking for frogs?
This is what I am told to seek. Yes, we look for many frogs in one place. You know where we find these?
I might know. What's it worth to you?
Well, it is very important that we find these frogs. So, it worth something. It worth much to us. Yes.
Ask it if it wants rations. Or
Are you? Yes. Are you hungry?
I could eat, sure, if you got some.
I have an excellent stew you might like to try. Do you like this?
I've never had a stew before, but try it.
Oh, you will love. This is my specialty. It is delicious meat, not crab stew. I feed to you, yes, in exchange for this information.
Oh, I thought you were just offering me a snack. Information's gonna cost a bit more than that.
I see. And what do you need, my feather friend?
Oh, anything shiny, anything pretty, anything sparkly.
You like shiny things. He digs into his pocket. What's the shiniest, least expensive coin that he would have in his possession?
Silver is the kind of lowest denomination we really run with. Then you've got gold and platinum. Platinum being obviously the shiniest, going down to gold and then to silver. Silver is as shiny as it can be. It's not the shiniest, but it's nice.
No bronze or copper pennies.
Did you have a concept of currency value?
Probably not.
Can we understand Mogden when he's talking? Can we only hear one side of the conversation, or can we?
You can
hear
understand
another
Mogden, but not the bird.
conversation? Wait, are you gonna? I can maybe shine something feather.
Ah, yes, this little crow wishes to have shine things. So if you can perhaps make something very shiny, then I will give to him.
I'll take whatever coin he gives, and I'll use prestidigitation to like really clean it.
Awesome. He hands her a piece of silver from his pouch.
Like newly minted sparkle. It's nice.
He holds it between his two claws and like holds it up to the sun and kind of tries to catch a little bit of the light and aims it towards the crow. And he's like, "Oh, what do you think of this, my friend? Very nice, yes?"
Yeah, that'll do. That'll do right.
He kind of like flicks it up.
Catches it in his beak. Thanks, sir.
Oh, you little shit.
Did he tell you?
I think we get, scammed by crow. I will find this crow and I will make him regret this.
Got fleeced by a cron.
I think this is a good lesson for us. Things are tricky now.
Yes, this is not what I used to. New tactics required for bird management and all
We
these.
gotta be tricky. We gotta be tricky now.
Is the crow anywhere to be seen, or did it just like take off completely?
Took off into the sky.
So we can't
not coming back.
shoot this thing out of the sky.
Have a new nemesis.
You
He
could
didn't even get his name.
You could certainly try. If you had, I think his flying away took you enough by surprise that he would have passed out of your range. Enid and DeCrane have the range to shoot at something from range, if they would be desiring to fire on this bird.
Can Ray
About a
chase it
single
down?
silver?
Sure, I could try.
It's a bad omen. Don't kill the crow.
Could you chase it down in your owl form? Like go after it and try to like.
I can't
Lock it
change
up.
to an owl. Ray can kind of be an owl, but like it tricked you fair and square. I kind of respect it.
Yes. Well, this takes us no closer to our quest, but if you think this is law of land, then perhaps we search for other means of acquiring this information. But Mogden is not happy about it.
I think we're okay. I think everything is transpiring how it's supposed to. It was a lesson for us, you know? The Fae are tricky. We gotta be careful. But you did great. It was fun watching you try and talk to a bunch of frogs. And who knew crows were that smart?
I'm not used to such interesting foe. I usually fight bigger foe, dumber foe. I do not like being made to feel dumb.
You're not dumb. No, he's just a clever crow.
I shall
You should
seek
draw
him.
a crow.
I could draw you a crow. We could be counting crows and continuing in the forest, and I'll draw one.
We just hunt them.
I agree with the crane for once. I think we should get this crow and make it pay for its sins.
If we see it again as we get closer, maybe. I just don't want it to tell the frogs to avoid us, you know? Like, what if the frogs are like, oh,
That's why we kill it fast.
it's gone. It flew away.
Yes, it
I'll
knows.
track it down. Don't worry.
It knows too much. We must silence it. I agree.
It's the fastest crow alive. It's gone.
Well, I will be keeping my eyes and ears open for this bird. But yeah, let us move closer to frog that may be more agreeable.
You guys, and you have this up for, I think it's an hour, right? We confirm speaking of animals.
You got animals?
What does it say here? Duration 10 minutes.
Ooh, okay. Then we must hasten our speaking with animals.
Yeah.
So a couple minutes on this process here. Do you want to try and find another creature close by here?
Yeah, let's see. I mean, if it's going to be a process to walk and find something else, I'd hate to lose the use of the spell. So is there any agreeable looking animal friends in the area?
throw me an investigation check.
Just restart your browser.
Give me that katana that you said the crane has. I need to end my shame.
It was a 5 for the listener. It was a 5.
Monk's not having a good day again.
You spend the next 5 minutes like slowly kind of all walking in this area, trying to get close to any of these kind of creatures, and you just don't have the kind of approachability, and though you're speaking to them to try and coax them forward, nobody here seems to be willing to kind of sit around long enough to respond if they even let you get through a sentence at all. At about 10 minutes, you guys are kind of figuring out what's our next play, trying to think of your next kind of plan here, and you hear up in the branches.
We look up.
Is it the same crow?
Looks like a crow.
Does it have
Not
the
all
coin?
crows are the same. Not all crows are the same. This could be a friend, someone, a complete stranger, innocent bystander.
Mogden glares at it.
Glares right back.
Does it have the coin? Can he see?
It doesn't appear to, with your various perceptions and abilities.
Have I lost the ability to speak to animals at this point?
At this point, the speak with animals is gone.
Dang. Okay.
I have it. I can cast it.
Oh. Yeah.
So
go
do you
for it.
as well, Nettie?
Pardon?
You have it as well, don't you?
Yeah.
What's your persuasion? No, what's your persuasion?
Mine? Oh, I think mine is. +6. No. Yeah, +6.
You go talk to this crow. Go
Just
talk to
started
this
with
crow.
you.
Okay. Ready?
I'll give you a silver.
I rolled a
Oh, hell yes. Making me look like a real piece of work over here.
Give you a silver, see if you can convince it to come down.
Hey, buddy. You want to come down and just talk with us for a little bit?
No, I can talk from up here. That's all right.
You sure? I got something for you.
He looks it over. I already got one of those.
Well, you can have another one. Two's better than one.
Wait, he said 2 is better? Is that the same bird from before?
Shh, don't scare it off. Don't scare it off.
I'm going to kill this bird.
He looks over at Mogden. I want his.
Well, this one's better.
It's gotta be his.
Hold on a sec. Moggy, can you trade with me?
He wants my coin, does he?
It's the same coin, though.
I guess he takes it and swaps it out with one of his, but before he gives it, he kind of gives it a rub. It's not as good as Andy's, but he kind of gives it a bit of a rub. If this bird flies off with this coin, I swear to Christ, I will throw an axe or something. Can Mogden recognizing he can't speak to the animal, can he give him a look of intimidation as if to say, I know what you're thinking. If you do this, I will find you and I will kill you. So do not fuck with me.
Yes, make an intimidation check.
You got it.
It's a 16.
16. Hang on. Okay.
So he passes Enid the coin, but he does not break eye contact with the bird. He just kind of passes it over to her and glares at this crow knowingly.
Here, see? You wanted his, right? Here you go. Take it.
Lands on your kind of forearm. Picks it up. He's gonna kill me, isn't he?
Oh, he's not gonna kill you. No, don't worry.
Make a deception check.
+6. Here's hoping. 23.
Nice.
There we go.
All right. So why couldn't he just be like you? Like, you're nice. You're a bright.
Oh, thank you. You're really nice too.
Wait, what is he saying to you?
Augie, quiet.
Nice.
What did you want? What did you need?
Well, do you know about where any frogs are around here? We're looking for a specific one. We can't find them anywhere.
What's his name?
Augie, what's the frog's name again?
It's the one that, like, Loch Lilypad. He'd probably be hanging out in there. And the frog is Old Goebbels. What's that fucking frog's name?
Old Goebbels the frog.
We didn't get the frog's name. It was that the wizard was swallowed by a giant frog.
You know, the one that swallowed a big frog. The wizard, he went in the frog's mouth.
What the hell's this guy talking about?
A wizard was swallowed by this particular frog. I assume he's infamous.
I've never heard of a wizard getting swallowed by a frog, but there's only one frog around who could swallow a guy, so I know him.
Oh, okay. Well, then take us to him if you don't mind, please and thank you.
Make another persuasion check.
This fucking crow.
Any guidance this?
22.
Don't need to.
Oh, Allie's killing it.
Thank God you've got the hot dice tonight. 'Cause
All right, yeah. Come on. But wait. He hops down on the ground and kind of looks back at Mogden. He's got to stay at the back.
Like how far back?
Like, I don't know. Tell him to wait here.
No, he's gotta come with us. He's part of our group. We're a family. He won't do anything. You're with
The hell
me.
is
We're
this thing
pals
for you?
now.
All
I
right.
think it's
I
cool.
got
You protect me.
I'll protect you. I got you. What's
Can
your
you hear me?
name?
Can you carry me?
I can carry you.
Enid is so excited.
I just imagine her holding this crow like a baby. Like, just
Under her breath, she's going,
You're my baby now.
Mogden's like grumbling and like slowly and very stealthily resheathing his dagger on his belt, like gritting his teeth at the bird, smiling.
He kind of snuggles in. Says, oh yeah, all right, it's all right. Yeah, okay.
the
That way.
light in my my belly button ring is like flickering.
Raging against
She's
us.
getting jealous. Like, no, let me out.
This little shit.
With the aid of the crow, you are led ever so slightly further into the swamp, into this area. For about 25-30 minutes, the crow kind of caws at the different directions to go, and in time, you feel yourselves crossing from kind of squishy earth of a muddy swamp and into kind of this bouncy but firm moss and grass. The trees are much the same as they were before, crooked and gnarled, but the webs of moss kind of hanging down, and there's a low haze that begins to kind of obscure sight ever so slightly. It does not obscure, however, the unmistakable croaking sound of a large colony of frogs. Following the sound and the consistent cause of this crow, you begin to note the presence of vibrantly capped mushrooms and flowering buds. Finally, as you sweep back a curtain of hanging moss and vine, you reveal a grotto clearing. Surrounded by thick trees, in the same curtain of moss and vine all around, you see a small lake, more of a pond, a vibrant blue color covered in bright green lily pads. Across the pond, and in small puddles on rocks, tree roots, large mushrooms, sit dozens, maybe hundreds of frogs. Some as small as coins, others as big as your palm, some quite a bit bigger.
What's he saying? What's he saying?
Oh, I think my talk to animals wore off.
Oh. Okay, well, I guess he's telling us we're here, I assume. He really seems to like you. He's really grooving on you right
He's
now.
actually really nice.
What did you name him, or does he have a name?
He didn't tell me.
You could call him Baby. I kind of liked when you just called him Baby.
Sweet baby.
Okay.
Can we make a perception check here? Anything stand out as like symmetrical or an arc or anything like that that might be some sort of landmark of a crossing?
Yeah, go ahead and make a perception check.
Wow, hot dice, 27.
Okay.
Ooh.
Getting a quick kind of look at the space, you don't see any kind of man-made structure. No stone of stone arch or anything like that you could imagine of like an old world kind of structure. What you do gather with a very high perception check and a quick glance around the space, there are, like I said, dozens, if creeping up into hundreds of frogs in this expanse. But there are a couple of them that are a slightly more vibrant kind of bluey green. You see like 4 or 5 of them that are these kind of particular color that stands out from the rest. And with that high of a perception check, you also see every so often there are mushrooms that are similarly capped, like a very similar color cap on these various mushrooms with these kind of little pink stems. But more specifically, there is a perfect ring in the kind of middle of this landscape before reaching the lake, of this perfect little fairy ring of these vibrant blue capped mushroom toadstools.
I think it's there, that fairy ring. That might lead us to this crossing.
Is it in the water swamp?
Nope, it's about 20, 30 feet ahead of it on the ground.
Well, we have come this far. Should we walk to this circle and see if it is in fact the gate that we are seeking?
Before we do, I just have one question.
And I'll turn to the frogs in the swamp.
Hey, did any of you swallow old Grimple?
Did you cast Speak with Animals?
Yes.
None of them immediately respond, but you can now understand a cacophony of sound of hundreds of froggy voices all talking over one another in various bits of conversation. And
One at a time, please. One at a time, please.
It's just like going into like a mall food court, but like everyone's speaking at top volume.
I picture the seagulls going, mine, mine, mine.
For frogs or for flies.
yeah, it's a lot of fly talk. And then you can hear the crow. Oh yeah, that's the spot right beside, as Enid is just kind of scritching it.
Hey, what's your name, pal?
Not me.
Yeah,
Oh, I'm Mixie.
Mixie?
Yeah.
Mixie, you're being held by my sister Enid, and she loves you.
Yeah, she's great.
Do you want to come with us on an adventure?
No, that sounds awful. But if you got any other like snacks or any shiny things, I'm building a bit of a collection.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I only have like another coin if that's what you want.
Man, sure, I guess.
Okay, cool.
He takes it. Well, if you guys are gonna go on an adventure, well, I guess I'll see you later.
Hey, can you
Yeah.
do something? Can you do something funny for me?
Yeah, sure.
When you go, could you poop? Could you poop on the bear as you go?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah, no problem. He looks up at Enid. Thank you.
He says thank you.
Oh, why were you going? You're with us now.
He kind of looks over at Augustus. And just,
She'd really like you to stay.
Stay with us.
He flies up over top of your group. He kind of swoops down low.
Look, guys, it's beautiful.
Kind of skirts Mogden's head just a little bit. Get a little too close. Swoops up again around. Kind of swoops around Decrane, around Andy and Cal. And then is going to land right on Mogden's shoulders. Kind of lands right on him.
Is this like a moment of peace where he kind of like looks at it to say, we have found made a cord between us. Look, he is my friend now.
He loves you.
You're not so bad after all, little bird.
He looks over at Augustus. This fucking guy, right?
Look, he's on my shoulder.
Nixie, is there anything you want me to tell him?
Nah, this'll do it. And he shits on your shoulder. He just kind of
Mogden
down.
Mogden looks very calmly into his eyes and just says, if there is hell in this realm, I will find you there, bird. I will find you there. And just kind of leaves it at that. He's defeated.
Some people say that's good. Some people say that's good luck.
It's a good omen. Good omen. Bye, Mixie. I'll remember you forever.
Off into the swamps.
Hey, did he tell you about the giant frog?
No, not really much good information. You guys want to go to the Feywild?
What do we remember from the story? It was like he just kind of went up to the pond and then the frog came out. I don't remember if anything else happened.
I guess you would actually.
I would actually know. I heard these stories a lot. This is very good, but my history's good. I rolled a 2 on the die.
Wow.
History's a +10.
Damn.
12's not going to do much for you.
No.
Not going to get you enough detail anyways to kind of get more than what you'll remember as Leah.
Yeah. I mean, we have this, like, the little pearl that'll tell us if a portal's around.
Nettie, your pearl.
Aren't these things also, like, all supposed to be very dependent on, like, a time of day or, like a something?
Yeah, like at the boundaries of, like, dusk or twilight or dawn. We could just check out the fairy ring. We haven't gone up to it yet.
Can I go up to the fairy ring? Check it out further? Yeah.
You can get closer. What do you want to look at?
Andy.
I'll notably say not very big. It's maybe, 1.5 foot diameter, maybe 2 feet in diameter. So not particularly large. It's perfectly circular. All these mushrooms are for the most part the same mushrooms, the same kind of like, they're kind of pink stem and pink kind of ridge around the kind of vibrant blue cap. They're unique. Go ahead and make a nature check for me.
You got it. 17. 17.
Okay. A 17. With this perspective and getting close to them and kind of smelling them a little bit and maybe even just reaching out ever so slightly just to kind of get your hand a little close, you can feel there's a little tingle in the air around them. They are a magical mushroom. And with that smell and with the kind of shape, size, and your proclivity for learning about these kind of unique natural things, they are indeed magical. These are shrinking shrooms.
Want to get high?
Want to shrink down. I would go up to them and be looking at them. Obviously, I'm scrutinizing them. And I'd quietly whisper,
do you guys know Durble?
There's no response.
That's okay. He's my friend. I think these are magical, like, shrinking mushrooms. Andy, do you have a way to detect other magic things, like to see where other magic is?
Yeah, it'll take me 11 minutes, but I can.
I think we could do that.
Great, yeah, I can stop.
Okay.
I'll find some kind of semi-dry patch of a rock or something. And
Yeah, there's lots of rocks on the edges of this place. There's fallen logs that are dried, or big roots that are kind of risen up and can kind of sit on. Lots of spaces just to kind of hang out. And you begin the process of kind of studying and going through the ritual of detect magic. This is going to take 11 minutes, as Leah said. So in the 11 minutes, is there anything else you guys want to try and do?
Yeah, question. Does the Codex Gauntlet only work once we've passed through to the other side, or can it be used?
It'll attune. It's only going to work on other planes other than the material plane.
Okay.
I'm double checking. I don't remember all the features. Which feature are you trying to use?
The Codex, like the
questions,
the little library of knowledge that it would have about.
Yeah, that is specific to the plane that you cross through to.
Okay, so we can't use it yet.
Unfortunately, it's the planar codex. It attunes to the planar kind of codex within what will be the feywild when you cross through. So get information of the planeswalker who's put information into this codex in the feywild.
Got it. So we can't quite access the database.
Yes.
Nettie, you have that portal we found, or pearl that can detect
Pearl?
portals? Yeah.
Do you want me to use it right now?
Yeah, why not?
Okay.
Can I take it out and?
Yeah, absolutely. You activate it?
Yep.
You activate it, and just kind of softball sized, begins to kind of swirl from its kind of opalescence to a pale purple and a bright red, actually kind of bright reddy green, in the direction directly to the lake.
All right. Looks like it's going into the lake.
Maybe we do need a frog's help to do this. Maybe we use a mushroom and then maybe it shrinks us and we go in a frog? Or maybe the mushrooms are just a trick from the Fae people?
We use
Someone
the
said the
mushrooms.
bird said there was a frog who could actually swallow an actual person. Which makes me think that maybe the shrinking isn't necessary, but might be help. Sorry, I'm distracted.
Unless the frogs are the portal and we shrink and go
Into
through
them.
the frogs.
I still have Kyle. Would I still have speak with animals up?
Yeah, you got maybe 3 minutes left, but yeah.
Can I try and find a nearby frog or anyone, any animal near the mushrooms?
So many frogs. Which one are you trying to look for? Is there any specifics
Find
you're
an
trying to?
amicable frog.
What about one of the colored ones?
Yeah, one of the colored ones would be great. Good idea.
Sure. We'll call it animal handling here to just make yourself
Sure.
approachable.
Not great. 8.
Okay. Yeah, these ones just seem a little skittish from you, and kind of hop into the water as you get close. They're not exactly wanting to kind of hang out as you kind of approach. You're just not quite enticing them to come along on your little journey here. You do find one of those a larger, kind of thicker, fatter toad, like a Goliath kind of situation. Doesn't do a
it's like
whole
a
lot of
bullfrog.
movement. Yeah, like a big bullfrog. Close enough that you could at least communicate with.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Do you happen to know how we could get to the portal, or is there a big frog who handles people trying to leave the pond?
There's more good.
Could we speak to this Morgut?
I don't know.
Where is he?
Sleeping.
How do I wake him up? Do I make a lot of noise?
Kind of looks over. Gestures towards the fairy ring. One of the other frogs will help you.
One of the other frogs help me?
Yeah.
Do I just eat one of those mushrooms?
Can.
I'm scared to do that. I've heard bad things.
Why?
I don't know. It may make me go insane or I don't know.
I've eaten one. I'm not insane.
Okay.
I'll go over to the fairy circle.
So he's saying we got to go to the fairy circle, and then I think it said Morgut or Borgut. He had a croak to him. But that guy's sleeping right now.
Oh.
I've got about 6 more minutes and then I can help you.
Do any of you frogs, before I can't talk to you, want a mushroom?
He's here. Thanks.
Kind of nervous about this.
Can you ask what mushroom does if we eat it?
I have a feeling that it might shrink us.
Ah. Well, this is far less not good for a bear to be small. I say this
It
much.
could be useful in the future if we want to bring some with us. I don't know, thinking it is going to mess up the fairy circle, though, and that could be a whole thing. Sorry, 4 more minutes.
Enid and Augustus, go ahead and just roll straight wisdom checks for me. D20 plus whatever your wisdom modifier is.
Yeah, that's when the luck runs out. 9.
Ooh, 21.
Tyler's still doing good.
Sister.
For now.
You are the trixier of the two here. And definitely see the value in these shrinking shrooms. However, notably, you know that typically when harvesting kind of magical components, especially natural components, shelf life is very thin. So they don't last particularly long unless really carefully prepared. However, that's like initial first wave of thought in this discussion of shrinking shrooms. However, as you guys are kind of like having this discussion and Enid, you're kind of sitting and looking, there is something that is it just seems to draw you in the coloration of these kind of those little bit more blue greeny frogs and this fairy. You can just feel a connection between them. And where that leads, you're not sure. But you can just feel that there is a connection. You feel like an innate fey like pull, if that makes sense.
Do you want to try and flag down one of those fey frogs?
I can.
You did so well with that crow, Mixie.
I feel like my luck's gonna run out.
Never.
I feel like Bird's luck is going to run out when I find it next.
Bogdan just scanning the sky.
Yeah.
The faint.
I will have my day, you son of a bitch.
They didn't like when I approached them so quick, but I don't know, maybe you could approach them with some flies or something? I don't know.
I don't really have any flies on me. You want me to catch some?
I don't know. I'm just trying to think.
The only other thing...
Oh, I thought I had like... No, I don't have that thing equipped. Never mind. I do have animal friendship.
What's that?
Animal friendship is target a beast you can see within range. The target must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or have the charmed condition for the duration. Oh, never mind.
Oh.
No, this could be great. This
Yeah.
could be great.
Yeah.
Duration.
If you or one of your allies deals damage to the target, the spell ends. So we just can't damage them.
As
Maybe try
long
and
as
cast
you're
it
not
on
on Bird, it is fine.
It's a
If
first
it's-
level, but I do have a second level on it as well.
That
Just
could
burn
be
it first.
useful if
Try and
it's
get one of
like-
them.
Yeah.
Yeah, like, so are you going to charm a existing frog to try to, like, they seem like they're talking to us. It could be useful to charm whatever the big motherfucker is, unless it's a monstrosity.
Yeah.
But the fey frogs, we kind of, I think, are the key here to find out.
Yeah.
Go for it, Nettie.
Fine.
Charm one of
Yeah?
these guys.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
You're gonna try and charm one of the kind of blue frogs versus one of the normal frogs?
Yeah.
Didn't they say, like, hey, a different frog has to help you? Am I remembering that wrong?
My bullfrog guy said more guts asleep right now, or boar
Right.
gut.
Then someone, one of the other frogs will help you.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay, you can see, what's the range, like 30 feet or whatever?
This is 30 feet, yeah.
You can see one of the other kind of teal frogs sitting at the edge of the lake, and it has to make a wisdom or charisma save.
It is a wisdom saving throw.
Come on up.
Come on, frog.
That ain't gonna do it. You utilizing some of your kind of latent fey magic and ranger aptitude, you do kind of ensnare the trust and charm of this kind of teal frog, who kind of perks up and looks over in your direction, kind of like tree frog, but a little bit larger, like a, about like a bullfrog sized tree frog. Looks in your direction and just boom, 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 and just kind of hops right up to in front of you. Just kind of looks up at you, big bubbly eyes.
Then you maybe ask if it can help us get to the Fey crossing or to speak to the other guy.
Hey, we need to get to the Fey crossing. Are you the one to help us with that? Or know of the bigger frog that can help us?
Eats a fly.
Okay. A direction would be great. Like use your little hand or hop to it, please.
Speak with animals. Can I cast it on someone else? It only says self.
All right, it's only self.
I'll try it on myself again. I'll burn it unless I still have it up. Want me to burn another?
I think at this point your last one is gone.
I'll burn another first.
Okay. At this point, Andy, you're almost done here, but in the last kind of seconds here, this guy's.
Hey, could you? This is my sister. She looks just like me, except kind of like the shadow version of me.
She seems really nice.
She's so nice. And she was telling me she would love if you could help her. Do you mind helping her?
I would love to help her.
Do you happen to know how we could get to the Fey crossing or speak to, was it Morgut or Borgut?
Oh, he's sleeping.
Oh, is there anything we could do to wake him up?
Yeah. If I can, here. Would you mind picking me up?
Of course. With your consent.
I pick him up by his little under his arms.
Kind of be done in that over there. And he kind of points to the circle.
I walk him over to the Fey crossing. I'm nodding at Nettie. I put him in.
Oh, he's letting you hold him. That's so cute.
You set him down gently into the fairy ring, and you see the all the mushrooms kind of light and glow. And oh, wonderful! Thank you very much. That was much needed. You all see the frog begin to speak, and you can hear the frog speak common.
Whoa.
You're looking to speak to Morgut?
Yes, we'd love to speak to Morgut.
Now, is this because you would like to go to the Feywild, or simply because you are looking to speak to Morgut? He has many fans.
First off, we've heard the story of Old Gimbal, a wizard. I don't know if you know it, but it sounded amazing.
These are the fans. The fans come by P. They try to replicate Old Grimble, yes.
But we do actually have business to get to the Feywild, so it's business and pleasure, I think.
Wonderful. Well, then you have three options. You could eat and partake of these particular mushrooms here. They will shrink you down incredibly small. Within our mouths, we will take you down into the water to the bottom of the pool where the crossing is. Alternatively, you could make us really large so that we could try and swallow you and bring you down there as well. Or we could wake up Morgut, and you can try to convince him.
Try and convince him because he's so big?
Yes, he loves to sleep, and if you wake up, he will be really angry.
Oh, no, Augie, let's shrink. That sounds so fun. Then they can swallow us, and then we can go.
Hey, how much, if we shrink, will we just... Do you know the concept of, like, running out of air? I know you're a frog.
Of course I understand the concept of running out of air.
Okay.
What a foolish question. You will have enough time to make your way down to the bottom of the lake with air. That's not a problem.
Do you understand concept of being scammed by animal? Because this is scheme to eat me. Mogden is not excited to partake. Mogden have bad day today. He's not easily tricked this time. You promised.
Did Mixie get you? Mixie got you.
Mixie got him good. Even pooped on him. Very rude.
It's a classic. Now, I apologize for Mixie on behalf of the forest here. However, if it happened the way it normally gets you, you didn't do anything wrong, technically speaking.
At this point, I just want assurances you not eat us when we are tiny.
No, we would never eat you while you were tiny. You're not tasty.
Kind of glares at the frog.
Okay, the spell's done, is it? Or did you already find an answer?
We're talking to a frog.
Okay.
Under detect magic, you come over to see the shrinking shrooms have a very powerful transmutative property. The fairy circle itself has a very powerful schools of magic transmutative property as well, but different. With it, just make an Arcana check for me.
Great. I haven't been rolling very well today. 16.
Okay. You gather the shrinking shrooms have a transmutative shrinking ability. The fairy circle has an intelligence boosting capability for particular creatures. And the very powerful conjuration emanation from the lake is unmistakable.
Okay, I think this has told me absolutely nothing that I couldn't have guessed. It was only 11 minutes. Okay, what are we doing?
Well, what's your name, sir?
Oh, I don't have a name.
Okay, this really kind frog said we have three options. One, we could make him big and he could take us down. Two, we could eat the mushrooms and he would take us down. Three, we could wake up Morgut. He hates to be woken up, though. He's very grumpy. And then try and convince him to take us down.
Okay, I have lots of follow-up questions. Number one, does the frog have a way to make us big? Or should I have taken a different spell the other day when I thought about taking a different
You would need to provide that yourselves.
Okay. Oh, right. Great. I can hear you talk. That's excellent.
Yep. Hello.
I'm so used to having to go through the bunnies. Okay. Cool. Okay. Well, I can't do that because I changed my mind when I was
That's too bad.
leveling up. Okay. I almost took enlarge reduce and then I did not.
Why don't we take the little mushrooms and go in this guy's mouth? I'm sure nothing bad will happen, and then we go down to the bottom of the lake.
My concern
Yes,
is
what
how
happened?
long that'll last. And do we show up super tiny and then we're stuck very tiny in the Feywild for a certain amount of time and everything tries to eat us? Hey, if you really feel like it, I can spend another 11 minutes to try to really understand how these mushrooms work. But I don't know if that's worth it.
Hey, frog friend.
Wait. Can I see that the frog is charmed?
Yeah, I suppose you would also see with your detect magic that it has the enchantment around it.
Hey, Enid, how long does this last for?
I think 10 minutes. Let me just confirm. With myself. It says 24 hours.
Amazing.
24 hours. That's way more than 10 minutes.
Yeah, that makes me feel a lot better about it, because it means that he won't eat us.
Yes.
Like,
As you understand, Mogden have slight apprehension about trusting strange animals in forest right now.
I definitely understand that. I think in this case, we were going to end up in a frog's mouth no matter what.
It seems this way.
Yeah.
Hey, frog
So
friend.
would you rather be a big grumpy frog or one that's going to be Enid's best friend for the next 24 hours?
That
Power
one.
of friendship.
Frog friend, do you know how long those mushrooms last for?
I'm not entirely sure. I've never taken them myself. However, reports have varied from several hours to several days.
I don't love that. And I can't dispel anything.
It might be fun to wake that guy up and just try and, convince him not to murder us.
Does he wake up by himself at a certain time of day or something? Is it just like a reverse day-night cycle?
We will call him.
But you are friends with this Morgoth, yes? Frog friend?
Of course.
You're on good terms. And we are on good terms with you now. So this should be fine, yes?
Sure.
Okay, why don't we do that then? We can't risk being tiny in the Feywild. It could go real bad. And this guy seems to think, he gets Morgoth. We just explain the situation, and it'll all be fine.
What are the odds of him being, really mad at us?
I think...
Hi.
I think pretty good from what he said.
Well, here's the thing. You can convince him and, or not. Either way, your answer will be provided for you. Either you convince him and he goes, or he eats you.
Okay. I think it's the only option. I think we gotta wake him up. Unless you guys know how to swim or breathe underwater and go down to the bottom.
Out of game,
Okay.
could I cast my, second level animal friendship on him?
I don't think it upcasts to do anything more.
No.
Does it?
I just think she doesn't have any spell slots left, is what she's saying.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. You can always upcast anything just to use the slot if you need to.
Does it just work, or is there a save or
There was a save. There's a
save, number 1, and 2, it's only on beasts. You are not.
Oh, so if
confirmed
it's
as
a
to whether this is
monster, if it's a
beast.
monstrosity, it's not going to work.
Oh, okay.
You can certainly.
I think, should we vote about whether we wake him up or become really tiny?
If I can learn more about the mushrooms, it will take me another 11 minutes. That may better make my decision.
Last time Ogden take mushrooms, he black out with warrior tribe and slaughter enemies in bloody battle. So perhaps no mushrooms if possible. Not a fan.
I think we should wake. Let's wake Morgoth up. We're really kind. We can really just tell him what's up.
Is that your decision?
Wait, before you wake him up, does he have anything he likes?
Flies?
Sleeping, flies.
Sleeping, flies, anything else that's like, oh my god, he loves this thing, and if people gave him it as a gift, it would just be wonderful.
Nothing.
Bunnies?
And Mogden's leftover stew accumulate many flies.
Well, wonderful.
There you go.
You will enjoy that. All right, well, let me call old Morgoth for you. And he kind of turns and calls out to the other frogs in not in language, but in an actual croak, as like a croak that is not necessarily words. He croaks out, and everything becomes suddenly very still in this grotto space. And you hear the frog, 1, 2, 3, 4, and all the frogs just, and they begin to harmonize in this croaking sound, and then there is just perpetual croak at all kind of levels of this, Gregorian throat singing frogs, and the lake begins to froth and bubble. From this kind of corner, you watch it kind of bubble and close the gap towards the kind of your side, this eastern side of this lake. And you see a glowing orb of green light begin to kind of rise from the center as it's coming towards you. And it's slowly moving. You see a massive kind of rippling wave moving with it. As it gets 10 feet from the shore, the orb kind of begins to rise up, and beneath you see a massive toad covered in warts the size of wagon wheels. At its full height, you look up to about a 25-foot tall toad who looks down at you all. Throat sack inflates the size of a small house, and he bellows a croak that shakes the trees, scatters the frogs, and nearly knocks you from your feet. We will encounter Old Morgoth next time.
Oh my frogs!
Fun.
That was
Fun.
awesome.
That was a fun.
What a ride.
Sure, that's gonna go well.
Yeah. Yeah.